And we're rolling. Oh, I'm not going to throw it yet. You're here at the Shlicketty-doocast. Welcome once again. Welcome back, everybody. Whew. It's hotter than a three-legged whore out there, right? Yeah, it's a hot one out here in Erie, Pennsylvania. We're going to talk about it, but I can't talk about it all by myself. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're in good hands. And who else is going to tell you you're in good hands? The old buddy, old pal Mike Anderson.
How about that for a hand?
Whoa.
I had the whole world in my hand, bro.
Fucking whole world. Schlickety slappity doopity doo.
Yeah, so it was a really weak spring, and then summer came and hit, and we're in this like heat dome that was going over like a lot of the country and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the whole United States right now is hotter than a whatever. You got a euphemism for hot?
Wait,
I heard a guy say once, it's hotter than a three-legged whore. I don't know what he meant by that. I was confused.
It makes me think of the mutant prostitutes.
Yeah, three-legged whore. Huh? Wow, that's a lot of work.
There was always makes you sweat more than a whore in church or something like that.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Southern saying, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, around here it was always like colder than a witch's tit was always.
Right. Yeah. We had the cold euphemism. We didn't have the hot ones because there wasn't that big of a deal until the past 2 years has it been getting hot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so
global
definitely
warming.
Yeah, the weather's it's the La Nina and El Nino hot and cold spots out in the Pacific Ocean.
It's really humid out. It's clammy.
Yeah, I mean clammy.
My air conditioning's working 24/7. That little sucker's trying to keep up. He's out there chugging away. I got it set to 71 and my house is staying at a solid 73. Like it won't go to 71. Sometime at night it gets to 71. But it's kind of hanging in there at 73, 74, like, because the sun's beating down on my house and it's chugging along.
Well, be careful. Don't overwork it because then it could, freeze over.
Oh, it's not going to freeze over.
like if that's
hell.
If that's the case, split the difference at 72 and maybe it'll achieve parity.
Yeah.
Although fans do a lot.
I know.
Ceiling fans.
I turned the ceiling fans on. I'm doing it. I'm doing the work. It's just, I got a 2-level house, second level, man, hotter than hell up there, and that's where I'm sleeping. It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm sleeping naked. They're laying there on the sweating rack.
Hey, tell me about it. My living room's 3rd floor.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus.
Sometimes I would like put the box fan down in the middle deck, just to blow some of that cooler air up.
You got to bring it up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Although I've been, I got like this little quiet fan that I run during the recording because it's quiet, a little 9-inch fan. I liked it so much I got one for home. I carry that thing. Remember, I carry that thing around with me. Remember, this is how we used to do summers here when we were growing up and that sort of shit. You just schlep a fan around. Remember when we were living in the apartment down by the?
Yeah, well, we had those square box fans.
Right. Yeah, the square box fan.
I never had an oscillator. You guys all had the oscillators. I never had one. I had a box fan though.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I just put them in windows, the box fan in the windows. Or you'd lean it up against the door and prop your door open and just kind of lean up the box fan.
Yeah, the box fan would keep the door open. I remember when we were living in that apartment down on Sobieski, we were all just schlepping around little fans with us. Like we'd have one with it in our bedroom, we'd come out to the living room, we'd bring it with us.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was sitting there and it was just hurricane winds. The fans blowing us all the time.
I know.
It was just so sticky and hot, it sort of sucked.
Oh, yeah, it blows. Yeah. I know. But what can you do? You can't change it. Thank God for air conditioning, though.
Well, so my air conditioner wasn't working a couple weeks ago when it first started getting hot. I think I talked about it. I went to flip it on, nothing happened. And I mentioned it then. I'll mention it now just because I think it's sort of hysterical. And it's a great backup to have. This bed fan. It's this company in Texas called Bed Fan.
Is that where the thing blows up through your covers?
Yes.
It has like a little tube.
Yeah, little thin duct that comes up like this, and it's 2 parts. There's the little straight part, and then there's a straight part with a curve on top. And on the sides, they got Velcro, and they give you a couple of tabs so you fix the height where you want it.
So you make a tent.
Well, and then you just put the sheet over you. It's like with the 20-inch box fan when we were kids, and like remember they had the inflatable planetarium thing.
Sure.
And that was just fans blowing it up. And I was
Sure.
like, okay, so I used to take a sheet and attach it around the box
Yeah,
fan.
I never did that.
Oh, and it makes a tube of fucking blowing cold air.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is the best. That's how I used to sleep when I was a kid on the floor.
Oh yeah.
With the 20-inch box fan, I'd put the sheet over
I
it
never
like that.
thought to do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's essentially what bed fan is.
Ah.
So with bed fan, because the girlfriend's a hot sleeper.
Sure.
She likes to get her body temperature up to like 120 degrees. when she's
Jeez.
sleeping. No,
Jeez.
it's not that hot, but
120. Yeah, that's who's dead.
she gets under multiple layers. She is so warm, it's like nuts. So she's not going to be in on the bed fan thing. So basically, what I do is I get we got this old flat sheet. It's like an old purple flat
Sure.
sheet. So I put that over it, so it's just on me. So the bed fan is just filling it, like it's like a tube of the cold blowing air.
Wow.
And I got a little remote control for it, so I can turn it
Wow,
down.
you're
and
like
turn
in
it
a
up.
little your own inflatable unit.
Yeah.
Padded inflatable bouncy
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, and then you pull it around your neck. When the AC's out, man, that fucking helps.
Yeah.
If you're a cold sleeper like me, like I'm a cold sleeper. Like we stopped in the grocery store and I was in like with the deli section and
Sure.
shit with the cooler. Or
the
whatever.
deli section.
Oh man, it felt so good. It feels so good and cold that it makes me almost fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like it too. I know. I like the car being nice and cold, but then there's also a nice warmth too. Like I like that warm huggy in the car when you just like take a midday car nap at lunchtime and you just sit in your car and go, like you know how they say don't put your pets and kids in cars. I like doing that. Not to them, to me.
Well, but yeah.
Yeah, and just sitting there and go, and just baking and losing brain cells.
Do you?
Oh,
no, I don't.
it's not. It's like being. It's like under a heat lamp. It's like being like an incubator.
So, are you a hot sleeper?
I don't even know. I think I'm pretty average. I don't know. It depends. When my thyroid was fucked up, yeah. But now that I'm back to normal, no, I'm just normal, average, whatever. You know.
So if you got like a sheet, blanket, you're like, whatever.
yeah, sheet, blanket, got a foot out. As long as I can get a foot out, I'm good.
I do that all the time too.
Gotta have a foot out.
Yeah, I mean the little toes are little radiators, man. And because I always had the fan blowing on me. When I was a kid, I'd have that big 20-inch box fan fucking
Sure.
blowing on my head, and then you wake up with this like sinus shit or all dried out. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you
fucked
can't
up.
have it blowing on you.
No, that'll make me sick.
I got 2 dogs and a cat laying in bed, and a girlfriend next to me.
Dude.
So it's like the girlfriend, two dogs and a cat, and
Yeah.
everyone's and I'm like sideways. I'm in S shape.
Yeah, we found that each cat is good for 10 degrees. So
Yeah.
if you got 2 cats in the bed with you, it's plus 20 degrees on the ambient heat of the bed.
Yeah, the dogs will do it too.
Yeah, the dogs will probably get you another 15 degrees.
But they know it's hot too. The dogs are better than the cats because the dogs at least kind of like you'll hear them. And they're kicking off their covers, they're trying to get a foot out too,
Do they get under the covers?
Oh yeah, but then they kick the foot out and stick the head out,
It's funny. I've had some cats that do and some cats that don't. My old guitar player Dan's cat, Justice. It was this black domestic long-haired, really smart cat, really tactile. Used to, if he had his door closed, those springy door stops. Cat would reach under, grab it, pull it, and go boing and snap it.
Oh, one of those
Make a hell of a noise to open the door like a doorbell. It was a real smart cat. That cat was a burrower.
Yeah.
Like it would jump up in bed with me and it would go underneath the covers.
Yeah, I
and
got a
turn
pug
around
that
and come
does that.
back
My
up.
pug.
Yeah.
Down, burrows like he's mousing.
Yeah, and like if I would come home with like a 12-pack of beer, load him in the fridge, turn out the cat is in the 12-pack box, turns around, sticking his head up.
Oh yeah,
So I go pick him up and walk him around, and he checks it out.
cats are cool.
It was a fun cat. He was an action kitty.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
I wish I had a pool though. Some days I don't want the maintenance of a pool, but sometimes I wish I had access to a pool. Like I wish I had like a semi-cool neighbor or like a neighborhood apartment complex pool you can just take a dive in, But I'm not one for the pool because I don't like all those chemicals. I don't want to swim in urine. Not a big fan. But the weather like today, I would have liked to take a few laps in an old pool.
yeah, our place in Mesa, we had it fucking set up. Nice.
Yeah, you had a
And-
saltwater pool though, didn't
Yep.
you? I've never done a saltwater pool, so I have no idea what we're talking
I had
about.
to put in a new. I had to put in a new system, because the old one was like underpowered and it was garbage and it was failing and it was a lot of work. I had to clean these, cylindrical filters like all the time. It was always a shit show. It was never working right. And the guitar player from the country band, his son was a pool guy. So I got in contact with him, and he had got this great motor for somebody up in Scottsdale. It was like a 2-month-old motor. Then they got a whole new system. You know what I mean? And so he's like, what do you want me to do with this motor? And they're like, ah. So he sold it. It was like a $1,400 motor. He sold it to me for like $200-300. And they fucking put it in.
Even used, it's expensive.
$200 or $300? That was a steal.
Yeah,
because it's a super energy efficient motor. It's not like the old motors where it's like they turn on and they just run full force. It would like ramp up and like ramp down. Like it was fucking cool. That made the pool perfect. I hardly had to do anything to it after that.
Wow.
Because the whole thing is, you need to make the chlorine to keep the water clean, right? So in a regular pool, you're just constantly dumping in chemicals to try and match the pH and keep it at the fucking level it needs to be. It turns into a chemical dip. I sort of hate that.
Yeah, I don't want a chemical dip.
So what the salt cell does is you put salt in the water.
Salt cell?
Yeah. So basically the way it works is you fill it with water, and then you get like 50-pound bags of salt, and you dump them in the pool. And you take the brush and you dissolve it all, so it's salt water.
Okay.
Then coming out of the pump, there's a salt cell. And the salt cell, it's like an electrolytic cell. So it's got metal plates in there. And as the salt water comes through, it gets zapped with electricity and turns some of them into chlorine.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's naturally making chlorine just by electrifying the salt water. So it's actually much cleaner, less fucking around. It doesn't have that chemical smell. It's great.
Yeah, I would do that.
That's great.
That's how I would do it if I had a pool. Yeah. Or, well, that's what you do in the Southwest. Now, up here in the North, do they have saltwater pools up here in the North?
I don't know. I mean, you could.
I mean, you could, sure. But is it a thing, or does everyone just go, hey, we are...
Well, because here it's only sort of seasonal sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, like, if you wanted to, like, if you had like a heater for the pool as well, you could, maintain it, at a operatable temperature all year round. Wow. And that's also ends up being the problem out there is in the summer with the heat beating down on it 115 degrees, it is like bath water. It is not refreshing at all.
Yeah.
And it was only in the last couple of years that I realized, the water isn't refreshing. What you do is you just jump in and get wet and then you get out. And then as it's drying and evaporating off you, that feels cool.
Right. Then Yeah.
That's
when you need the fan.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Big old fan blowing on you.
Yeah, but in the spring or the fall when the weather's nice and mild, like there are many beautiful Mays, and you fucking just jump in the pool and it's fucking brisk and refreshing. Wow. It's awesome. That was great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we've been battling the heat all week.
I'm with you. I miss the pool action too. I wish there was some fun pool action we could go to hang out.
Well, we were doing things all week. What did we do all week? Oh, well, we'll get to it in a little bit. Yard sales. I did yard sales, that neighborhood yard sales.
So I was out and about the one day, and I came across a yard sale at the end of my block. Me and the girlfriend were riding bikes around, and I called you up and I'm like, hey man, they got a block sale right here at the end of my block, and you're like, yeah, we were just there.
We were just at the one you're talking about, and I got something. In fact, I got some items, but I'll wait to show that segment. Anything else you want to talk about before I get into the segment?
Local goings on or whatever. Oh, so I got my truck fixed. My truck environmental controls had been stuck on just blowing heat. I took it in.
You depressed the suck button.
Yep. And my mechanic over there, he got it straightened out for now. It's going to be real expensive to replace the part. I got to try and source the part. He said it's not available in the Parts Around book. He said you may have to contact the manufacturer, the dealer. So I got to try and chase that down. But either way, it's going to be spendy. He quoted me like $2 something for just labor on it, just because it's all you got to take the whole dash apart and everything.
Just to get to it is the problem.
Just to get to it.
And you understand. I know when they explain the labor, you go, oh. Yeah, that is labor. You're right.
And I've seen it done because my drummer out in Phoenix was a mechanic, and there were times I'd pop by. He'd be like, "Oh, pop by the shop." I pop by the shop. Man, there was one day. It was like 10:30 in the morning. I popped by. He had his daughter's Isuzu Trooper in there. He took the engine out and took the front end apart like that morning. Just a couple hours. He was like, "Yeah, I took the engine apart. She fucked it up. I gotta fix it."
Wow.
Yeah, he was good. He knew what he was doing.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it seems like brain surgery to me.
Yeah, it kind of is. But when you're doing it for a while and you're doing it like for a job, like you get a lot of experience at it. And
I guess to us it's like fixing. Oh, I broke a guitar string. Change it up. Or it's a big breaking a string to some people is a big deal. To us as musicians, it's like a pit stop in NASCAR.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's almost like the whole like I guess for beginners playing guitar and stuff like that, like
Yeah, it's a big deal.
well, yeah, like I mean, a lot of beginners they don't even know how to tune it, and I'm sure it's really frustrating. It makes learning suck, and then if you break a string, it's like yeah, you don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, rambling. Oh, one other thing I want to touch on. Did we talk about this on the podcast or not? You and I were texting on it. Fucking around with the live action Snow White.
Oh God, that's gotta stink.
So
I haven't seen it. Did you finish watching it?
I did not finish watching it.
I asked what the threshold of tolerance was. Did you make it past the 15-minute mark?
Man, my girlfriend was having a rough time with it.
Oh,
Yeah. The songs are by the guys who did La La Land. Which, if you haven't seen La La Land, Aaron, you need to watch La La Land.
I don't know. I
Throwdown.
might have a stroke. I don't know. Well, I have insurance.
Well, here,
I do have insurance. Okay.
you're in relatively good shape.
I think I might live through it. I might live through it. Yeah. Okay.
Because it is like they're musicals, but they're doing them in this new way where, you know, I'm not a super big fan of musicals anyway.
No, I don't mind the musical in person in the small theater. I don't like the movie adaptation of the musical. That makes me mad because it's like a video and it's all this super CGI and then they're all lip syncing and singing the birds and swirly magic and
Yeah, you're pretty much on it.
all right.
Yeah. But it is sort of like how they use them and sort of like how they do it. Like for example, in the Snow White, and I'm almost seeing a pattern in them now, right? And I don't know if it's just the Disney ones or all the new ones do it. They're so formulaic, right?
Okay.
So the first song is a song about the place that they live.
Okay.
You know? And then so in the Snow White, it's all about this. In the beginning, she's like little girl Snow White. She's got her mom and dad, and it's our magical kingdom of love, and things grow, and plants, and you know, feeding the people with food and love.
This is where we love. This is where we are.
That's it. It's that sort of thing.
Okay. And what's the second one?
So that's the first song.
Okay.
The second song is always the lead character's song about herself.
Oh, like. I'm gonna find my way in the world.
That's it.
I'm gonna find myself. Hello, world. Where are you?
That's it. Who am I gonna be whenever I
I'm gonna
see,
be who
you know.
I'm gonna be.
Yeah. So in Snow White, it's something like waiting on a dream. Or,
Oh God. Well, yeah. And they keep now. Do they play? There's little things that happen, like maybe she's brooming or cleaning or doing something, and they'll play it quietly in the background, like a slower version of it.
Right. Well,
so it makes reoccurring themes of that song.
That's it exactly. So that becomes that character's theme.
Right.
So that's musically embodying their character journey. You know, laying out their problem, what they need to overcome.
Oh boy,
to be fulfilled by the ending. Or something.
Okay. What's the third song?
The third song is.
I can see enter the antagonist.
That's
right?
it. Yeah, that's it.
Enter the antagonist or antagonistic situation.
Right. Which in this case is so they have the ba ba ba. Who am I gonna be? Right. And then,
who am I gonna be? And here comes
or
the
maybe
temptation of the witch.
Yeah.
And the apple?
Yeah, so it's Snow White. So basically they go, it starts off Snow White and her mom and dad, right? And then mom dies. Oh, it's just Snow White and her dad, right?
The parents
and then her dad
die.
remarries.
Yes, to a cunt.
Right.
Cunty ex-wife or stepmom.
Right, but it's like,
stepmom.
super hot, exotic, evil stepmom, right? Which in this case is Gal Gadot,
Sure.
So, she seems all right doing it. I mean,
I have no qualms with her.
Yeah. And so evil stepmom, right?
Okay.
And then the dad dies.
Oh,
now it's just Snow White left with the evil stepmom, and the whole kingdom starts turning to shit.
Oh, and the birds stop coming by, and the sun sets forever.
Right.
Ah, yes.
Right. That's it.
And the flower garden, the weeds overtake the flower garden.
That's it.
Oh.
And so Snow White goes to the evil stepmom, and she's like, we gotta, grow things and feed the people and stuff. And Gal Gadot's, and I think she has a song. Maybe she has a song. I don't know. But yeah, it's the antagonist sort of thing. And then her whole thing is that all that shit's ephemeral. The only thing that lasts is like jewels, and all the jewels are like bright primary colors. Like they're not even like like see-through
Yeah,
colored
you'd think
glass.
they'd be like glowing marbles or something, but instead they're just like, oh, here's a red jewel, here's a red
yeah,
gem.
they're kind of weird. So if you see it, and it's almost like yeah, it's like weird primary color thing.
Okay.
Almost like an abstract. This represents jewels, but not being actual jewels. So it's just sort of like, all right, like didn't even make it try to look like jewels, but all right, so whatever. But speaking of not really making
How do
things
the
look like
dwarves
things.
fit in? Where are we going with the dwarves?
So
Do they do the hi ho, off to work we go song?
do.
They do. Do they remake it for nowadays standards?
Yeah.
Oh God, is it painful?
Well, so far they have not broken into full-on rapping. So.
Oh, okay.
So,
all
I
right.
mean, you know.
Yeah, you'd think they'd go like, we couldn't afford Lin-Manuel for this one, so we're gonna get his intern, Johnny Manuel, to do the old rap.
Johnny Manuel. No, but they got the two guys that did all the songs for La La Land, which once again, you haven't seen La La Land, so you don't get the vibe of this sort of thing the way that they do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So dwarves, CGI dwarves,
Yeah.
do they have personality, or do you go, this is just CGI dwarves?
It really just feels like CGI dwarves. I mean, they sort of have personality in their faces, right? And so the faces are semi-realistic and sort of, cartoonified a little bit, a little bit heightened, right? So Happy's got a big smile, and Sleepy looks like he's narcoleptic, and
Doc has the glasses.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the little bulbous nose and the white hair and all the thing. So, they're sort of in broad strokes. You see them and you get them, but they almost sort of have the same sort of wipe of a group of characters the way the dwarves for the little fellowship in The Hobbit did as well.
Sure.
All 13 of the dwarves, where it's like, sure, they're all different, and Boffer and Bomber and all that, but
Was Dopey dopey?
yeah, Dopey looked fairly dopey.
But did they make him less dopey and more lovable, or did they over-dopify him?
It seemed like a.
I feel like they're going to give him a Jar Jar Binks voice.
No, I don't think he talks.
Oh, he doesn't talk. He's a mute. Okay.
Yeah, that was always the thing.
Oh, yeah,
Dopey
you're
never
right.
really
I
talks.
guess he wasn't. Yeah, that would have been annoying if they gave him Jar Jar Binks voice. Okay.
That would be. And maybe he does later in the movie. Maybe that's part of Dopey's story arc.
Dopey speaks.
Yeah, at the end.
Dreams can come true.
Right. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, so
Oh God.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't. I just thought the story was weak to begin with. The original Snow White, I know it's a classic, whatever. Hate me all you want. It stinks. It's just not a good story. You take the dwarves out of it, and then let's just talk the stepmom. It's the wicked stepmom. Well, okay. And then she gets the spell. She eats the apple. Blah blah blah. And the prince with the love has to wake her up. It's just such an old trope cliche that it's. Duh.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, isn't like Snow White and Cinderella Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah. I know. I used to get them confused.
Yeah, they're kind of the same thing.
It's the same. It's the same kind of story, minus the dwarves, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, with the dwarves. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
and the only thing that's going to wake her up is the love from a hot man's goo. And here comes Super Stud to go, I think I love her. I will kiss her while she sleeps. It's like, what? That's creepy. It's weird. You don't need a man. This is stupid. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and so the thing that they're trying to do in this one is give Snow White, instead of just being reliant on Love's True Kiss to like save her and make everything right or whatever.
Okay.
They're trying to give her more agency as a
strong woman?
Yeah, as a strong
okay. Well, I like that, even though some people call that woke. I like the idea. Let's give her a little bit of strength. Give her a little independence. She doesn't need stepmom. She's on her own. She's out of there.
Well, that's the sort of thing. It's not just overcoming the stepmom. It's her also assuming the leadership. She's the only child of the king and queen. She's the rightful heir, not this, stepmom that came out of nowhere and married her grieving father, sort of thing.
Right.
And so it's her like, healing the kingdom and making things better and stuff like that. Which, okay, here's what I also watch. Just out of curiosity, I just throw shit on the TV sometimes just to keep me company and keep me entertained. So, Frozen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They have on Disney now Frozen live stage Broadway musical.
Oh my God, you're trying to kill yourself. You're trying to give yourself a stroke.
So,
It's hot weather out there, Mike. Come on.
well, so, me and the girlfriend had tried to watch Frozen back
you
in
have
the day.
insurance. You shouldn't be doing this.
I know.
All right.
It is risky behavior. So me and the girl tried to watch Frozen like whenever it came out, like 15 years ago, whenever the fuck it was.
Right.
And once again, and I don't remember getting much out of it when we tried to watch it. Once again, I don't think she made it that far into it. And then when we were talking about it, and I was like, I don't remember much of it. And she's like, I think we decided the only way we could try to watch it is if we just made fun of it. And I was like, oh yeah, I think that's what we did. We were just fucking just ripping on it and just like, so none of it really stuck. So I get the story overall, but I never got the story. It never made any sense to me.
No,
and I didn't know what actually happened narratively in the
I don't
in the
either.
whole
I
thing.
know. I watched it with my daughter, and I think I fell asleep.
It is
Like she watched it while I slept on the couch.
it is not good.
No. And that song is annoying, and the Let It Go song just plays all through it. It just doesn't stop.
All of them, plus the want to build a snowman and anyway. So I'm watching that, trying to once again trying to make sense of that sort of shit, and boy, it's just all over the place. Like I don't get the point of it. The whole thing where it's like she can make shit snow, so they gotta separate her from her sister. Like why? It makes no sense. Put on fucking gloves. Like I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. And the snowman character has a carrot for a nose. What are we doing here? All right.
All right, yeah, you're done with it. Yeah. So anyway, I tried to watch the Frozen. I mean, but it's one of those Broadway things on, stage.
Well, Disneyfied.
Yeah, and it's definitely a stage adaptation of the movie sort of thing. But it's interesting, like the way that they're doing the snowman character and the way that they're doing the reindeer thing.
Is it on ice?
On stage? No, it's not. It would make sense, wouldn't it?
You could. Frozen is the one they should do.
It
on
really
ice.
lends itself to it.
Right.
I mean, it's
it's
sort of
already
right there.
That's how you get the snowman skating around.
No, but actually the stagecraft that they do with like the sort of animals and stuff is actually really, really cool and really clever.
Yeah.
It's like, you ever see like the Lion King Broadway stage thing?
I took my daughter once to see Bear in the Big Blue House live, and they had the big bear come out, and then they had the characters, and you could see the people in the black suits behind it animating them and stuff like that.
Yeah, the puppet character.
But it was cool. It took like 3 of them to make them, but
yeah,
it was cool. It was good. Yeah, if you just shut your mind off and grade on the curve a little, because you know what they're doing, it's all right. I like it. I was cool with it.
With the Lion King Broadway thing, Julie Taymor was a director, and she was using this African like stick puppet technique sort of thing. It's really interesting. Like you say, the guys in black that they're puppeting like the But it's really interesting the way that they do it, and it's sort of like the old Looney Tunes backgrounds where it's sort of abstract. It's suggesting a giraffe, and your brain completes the picture to make it a
or like
giraffe.
if they're on the ocean, so there's
Yes.
2 guys with 2 water things,
That's
and the
it.
water waves
they're
are going
moving
like
back and
this,
forth or something.
to simulate the wind.
Yeah, they move like this. Or
Yeah.
yeah. That sort of stuff always fascinates me. And
Yeah, that's
especially-
kind of cool. There's an ancient thing to it. That
Stagecraft,
you could
yeah,
tell
yeah.
they were doing that probably in the early 200s.
Yeah, stagecraft stuff. Yeah, that's sort of fascinating to me. And when you get to those Broadway level shows, like when we saw the Book of Mormon, that was like a touring Broadway company thing, like like $300 tickets. I mean, we got them for like nothing on a deal, but I was blown away. Like once again, like you say, like when you're in the room watching it, and it's not the CGI and it's not the multiple passes of rendering, when it's people on stage. And that stagecraft shit.
And it's production, yes.
Yeah.
You have a better appreciation for it, yes.
It's
all
real
moving
impressive.
at once and all these moving parts going on, and then you add the talent to it with the singing and the acting. You go, oh, I get why Broadway is killer.
Well, they were doing things because it's about these Mormon missionaries going to Africa, right?
Yeah.
And so in these African villages, they'll be around some like big tree. So they got this like big tree prop that they come in. And the tree looks dope. And the tree looks real. And they just whisk it on and off stage and shit, and it's impressive, It's real impressive stagecraft. Even like the stage itself, like around the stage, they got this like big like almost like looking like a church or some sort of thing, or stained glassy sort of thing to sort of frame the whole thing. I don't know. It's real impressive.
All right, so
stagecraft.
going back, we're going back. See, we drifted off. Snow White. What's your assessment?
So far,
Oh, you haven't got through it all?
No.
You can't review it if you didn't finish it.
Well,
Or you're not going to finish it because it's a brain bleed.
I told you I wanted to try and finish it, but I haven't had a chance
Yeah.
to sit down and finish it.
So far, you give it a what? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I mean, in the vein of all these adaptations of these animated movies, making them into these live action movies, in that vein, like much of them, I don't think it works, and I don't think it makes sense, and I don't think it's making anything better.
No. Not even a lateral move. You almost think it downgrades the original.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if...
What about all the extras like the birds and the chipmunks and stuff flying around? Were they in there?
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
They actually-
That's what I did like about Snow White, because the woodland creatures were kind of a nice little thing, you know?
Yeah, they were actually pretty good. They looked good. They moved good. They had little personalities. There's a fucking squirrel that he's just got attitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah.
And you see the little deer, and you're like, "Is that Bambi?" You know,
Yeah.
like that sort of thing. You know.
Didn't the original Snow White have a rabbit and a? Didn't it have a rabbit and a,
yeah.
And
In this one, actually, the rabbits.
Thumper?
The rabbits. Yeah, that was Bambi.
Oh, Bambi. Yeah, Bambi had Thumper. Yeah, I get it mixed up. But you know, yeah.
Oh, that's why they got the little doe deer or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and then there's like a skunk, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that was Flower. That was Bambi.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like that. But yes, there are a couple of rabbits. And they're not actually rabbits. They actually look like hares. Which is the difference
Classic hare.
with the ears and stuff like that. Yeah, when you see them, you go, oh yeah, it's not really a American bunny rabbit. It's more like an English hare, sort of thing. Or a European hare or something like that. Maybe German or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyway, but I don't know, unless it's like the song update is a thing that is working for younger generations because it's not the 1940s
I saw
songs.
the trailer, and it was enough to go, okay, where's your Okay, Let It Go, at least for Frozen, was a super huge song.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah. I mean, it's probably just...
Yeah,
just,
we hate it, but I
repeatability.
see little kids singing it and made them all dress up as...
It did, yeah.
Snow White didn't have that. I feel like the song that they used for her song, their version of Let It Go, was not quite nearly as catchy. It didn't have the...
Exactly, 100%. 100%. Yeah,
and that might have detracted from the whole thing. If the song was better, they might have created some kind of sub thing like Frozen did.
Yeah. And I'll say, for an example of where that does work, you know, I know it's Lin-Manuel Miranda and everything, which, you know, I like a lot of his stuff. Like,
Yeah, he's
like In the
talented,
Heights
for sure.
didn't grab me. Hamilton, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking blowing me away. Encanto, fucking love. Encanto is one of these ones where the first song is Encanto. They're talking, they're singing about the family, you know, and the village that they live and all that sort of stuff, you know. And then of course she has her song about, you know, herself. So it's like that. But the songs are so good, and the melodies are strong, and the words are clever, and it paints this picture, and it weaves together to create this fabric of reality of this animated universe, you know, that you can really buy into.
Yeah.
So it's really well done. So
I feel like the Snow White song was, I remember, I don't even remember it because it was very innocuous. It almost felt like it was AI generated, like, here's the song that we made for this.
that's sort
It
of
just felt like very lifeless and very...
yes. That was sort of what I was finding too. The melodies are not the sort of hummable thing that's going to stick in your head.
Yeah.
Like I literally said to my girlfriend, like this sure isn't the Sherman Brothers anymore.
Yeah.
Which, did you watch that documentary on the Sherman Brothers? You should watch that, man. They were the Richard and Bobby Sherman. They wrote all those Disney songs.
Oh, right,
All the
right.
Mary Poppins stuff, When You Wish Upon a Star, all that shit. That was them.
Right. Yeah,
One of them was
for
writing
sure.
the music,
Yeah.
one of them was writing the lyrics.
Yeah,
Those- Those guys, that story
they know what they're doing.
is fascinating. Those guys, there's a documentary about it on Disney Plus. Speaking of trailer shit. But anyway, so the Snow White and the Frozen, the songs in the Snow White, it's the guys from La La Land. And once again, I found the songs in La La Land very sort of vapid and, like you said, they almost felt AI generated. It was like in one ear and out the other. The melodies were not catching me. The orchestrations weren't catching me.
It's just not
And
not bad, but just not good.
And there is stuff out there that does, you know, catch my ear and stuff like that, like film scores and stuff like that, where you're like, oh man, this is like, who's doing this? You know, shit like that. So it's not like it's just me where I'm like, you know, curmudgeonly, I don't like anything. Like,
oh yeah, you can tell.
giving it a fair take on stuff. But speaking of trailer-wise, essentially that link for that Frankenstein trailer.
Frankenstein trailer, yeah.
Apparently that came out a couple weeks ago. I just saw it like...
Yeah, I just saw that trailer. It was pretty cool,
Guillermo del Toro. It's going to be on
Guillermo
Netflix.
del Toro, yeah. So look it up, folks. The new Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein trailer. Google it now.
Looks dope. I'm a fan of the Frankenstein and those old gothic
yeah, and
horror novels.
I like when I like the setting and everything like that.
Yeah.
It looked like there was a ship. There's a ship. It looks scary.
Well, so people don't know this, but if you go through the actual book, the way the whole book is framed is it's all set up in like fucking the Arctic.
Oh.
And it's this ship that's like stuck frozen in ice. And they find this guy, which is Dr. Frankenstein. And they take him inside and they're trying to nurse him back to health because he's on the verge of death because he's been out there in the frozen shit. And he relays the story.
Oh.
That's the framing device for the book. Oh. So then in the book, when Dr. Frankenstein gets to the point where his story has now caught up to how he ended up here and how they found him, then the monster shows up. Which that's what they were showing in the trailer there.
Yeah.
Where there's the frozen ship and then the monster's up on the frozen ship and he's starting to fucking swing people around and shit.
Yeah, and it's funny how here's a new CGI thing, which I always thought was funny. I used to laugh at, like in the early 2000s, whenever there's a scary scene, they would always have the flashing strobe light lightning in the background. Well, now's the new one. The new one I picked up on was ooh, I bumped a torch.
Oh.
The embers.
Yeah.
So there's embers everywhere.
Yeah.
To kind of, and I feel like, oh, that's the new version of smoke to cover up the imperfections.
Yeah, well, and
draw your eye away from something that might be weird over there.
Exactly. And if you watch the behind the scenes on Alien and Blade Runner, Ridley Scott was the guy who, like, he's master of the cinematography and lighting and shit. And, darkness, fog, or the smoke, with the alien, like,
the torch embers is a good one, though, which is cool. It's cool looking. I was like, there's a couple things where he punched the dude and did that, and the torch embers are flying.
Yeah, it looks good. Like, the cinematography looks, like, rich. Like, they're almost making it look like a painting or something like that.
Yeah. I just wonder what Frankenstein himself will look like. I mean...
So, if you search on YouTube, Frankenstein 2025...
Yeah, I didn't do that.
In the results, other than the official trailer, which is what, we saw, the next results, they show you. Like that's the...
Yeah, I want an image still. I want to see this face. Does he have a square blockhead?
Yep.
Okay. Does he look like encephalitis? Does he look patched together?
He doesn't look super patched together. He just looks like sort of Boris Karloff-y in that it's sort of slender, sort of pronounced cheekbones and then jawbones, sunken cheeks, sort of thing.
What about hair and facial hair?
No facial hair.
Okay.
Sort of the flat top head
That's
thing.
good. I was hoping they were going to get a weird goatee going or something.
No, but the eyes are like, so his skin is like greenish or something like that.
Sure.
And the eyes are like sort of pale blue. But there's an intelligence in the eyes. Because that's the thing. In the book, he's not like, "Rrr." That was the 1933 Frank Whale movie.
Yeah.
In the book, he talks. He's reading. He's reading books and shit. He's getting into philosophy.
Yeah.
Like when, like he has thoughts about things. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Because in the book, they converse.
Mm. Yeah. So he's not big dumb,
right.
club-footed idiot.
Right, which is what they always do in the movies because that's sort of the movie tradition. So this looks like it's cleaving pretty closely to the original source. And if they do, that shot that I saw with it, it looks like there's intelligence in those eyes.
Yeah, because they made him say something in the trailer. He said something like, I am a man, or something.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he said something like, I am...
and then he just went, Victor. Like he's
I'm Victor.
No, Victor's the guy.
He said, I am a man. I think he said something like, as he's hitting those people, he's like, I am a man.
The whole thing ends up being that Frankenstein makes the monster, and then he keeps trying to bump him off and kill him, and the monster keeps getting more and more pissed.
Yeah.
And then the monster's kind of like, he goes away for a while, and then he's like, all right, I need him to make me a wife. And then me and the wife will go off, and we'll make our own race of our own children or whatever, right? Which horrifies Frankenstein. He's like, there's no way I can let this thing... He's like, I don't know if they can procreate. I have no idea. If they can, there'll be horrific nightmares, because they're bigger and stronger than everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's going to be a female Frankenstein in this too.
Well, that's what Frankenstein's after.
So he wants Nookie.
So he starts coming after Victor to make him a bride of Frankenstein.
Did it all for the nookie.
Yeah. So yeah, and Victor's like, there's no way, making a missus and taking the chance that these start procreating.
Wow, fun.
So,
how are we doing on time?
Yeah, should be good.
Okay, we got a Wayback Machine.
Yeah,
we got yard sale scores though.
Oh, let's do yard sale scores.
Man, yard sale scores. Man, we could always do the Wayback Machine next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's
1980, what are we at?
We're at 88.
88. Should we wait on 88 till next week?
I mean, yeah, we can.
Or we can do it quick.
I mean,
yard sale scores.
Yard sale scores.
Kind of quick.
Yard sale scores.
Yeah, I do.
Let's do it real. Okay, yard sale.
Curious on the yard sale.
So
scores.
yard sale. I got a nice little
seen
Trader Joe's bag. Here we go. Here we go.
Wait, is the Trader Joe's bag? You just had that.
No, I had that.
Yeah.
All right. So I spent a grand total on my garage sale stops. $2.50.
There you go.
Everything was 50 cents or a quarter or whatever, which is a good deal. All right. What was the first?
Spending.
I'm going to save the one. Okay, when I stopped at the one by your house, I'm going to save that because that's my favorite of them all. Well, first score, this one was a quarter. I didn't know what it was at first, and I go, okay.
Yard sale
Put the
scores.
picture up there. I can show you the
Yard
picture.
sale
It's called
scores.
I think it says a wine stand, but I don't know how it works. But it looks like an Australian painted wine stand. It says Australia on the side.
Huh.
And I think you lay it on the wine bottle like right there when it's
Yeah.
on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to use that. It's kind of fun, right? For
Sure.
a quarter. All right, I'd buy that. That's a good score.
Now, is that made out of wood?
It's made out of wood. It's all painted. You can take a look at it when we're done. That's a good one. All right.
Yard sale scores.
Got this nice little picture.
Yard sale
This
scores.
one's free with the wine thing. Nice little picture of a cat.
Now that is we know who did that, and I know what he's doing there.
He's looking at pizzas.
No. This artist, I've seen work by this artist before, where he does this fat zebra striped cat with the pizza thing. It's almost like he's making fun of Garfield, with Garfield being
The
an
lasagna?
orange with those sort of black stripes, and with the lasagna. So he's doing it with a white and black cat with like pizza, and also the background is almost aping. It's sort of like my girlfriend has a print of it. It's some sort of famous artist where he would do jungle scenes, and his jungle would sort of look like that in the background.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Nice little picture, worthy of framing.
Yeah, it's fun. Throw that in a little frame. It's sort of ridiculous.
Yeah, I liked it.
A fat cat in a river of pizzas.
Right, yeah, fat cat and river pizza. Look at this score,
sale scores.
25 cents.
Yard
Look at this,
sale
a
scores.
Shamu spoon.
Wow.
Look at that, an original Shamu spoon from SeaWorld 1982.
Yep, that's about when I went to SeaWorld. That was probably over in
Wow,
Sandusky, Ohio.
Shamu spoon, look at that.
And I'll tell you what, I remember going to that SeaWorld over in Sandusky, Ohio. And if anybody remembers this shit, put it in the comments or fucking email us or something.
Yeah,
'cause this
I
shit's
think
funny.
I did too. I went there, and I know what you're talking about, and I went there as a kid too.
So do you remember, they had some sort of like pirate adventure zone thing where they had those sort of triangular nets that they always had on ships to climb up
Yeah,
and
you would
stuff.
climb those, yes.
And they had nets you could just jump into, and it was like a trampoline.
I remember it, but I don't think I did it. But I
it was like
remember
the ultimate like jungle Jimmy climb on sort of thing.
Yes, and it was I remember smelling like cedar chips because they probably had cedar
Yes.
chips on the ground.
Yeah, because it was all made out of that sort of redwood or whatever that they were
Right.
playgrounds out of at the time. Yeah, because it was like they'd have like a plank and chain like rope bridge type situations and things to crawl through and slides and
I don't think. Here's the thing.
rope things.
I think the original Shamu's long dead.
Oh yeah, well,
But when we would have gone to this, the Shamu, that could have been the original Shamu, or at least second generation Shamu.
yeah,
When I don't remember seeing Shamu, but I do remember they had, when they get on this water skis and they had this Justice League of America scene where it would be like, oh, the Flash and Wonder Woman and then all these DC characters, and they'd all stack themselves up and they'd all get pulled along by a boat.
that's the water skiing show.
Yeah, it was I remember that distinctly.
I think I saw that as well.
That I remember.
Because it seemed odd to me that it felt like they were just shoehorning in those characters because Wonder Woman TV show, Incredible Hulk
Oh, you're
TV
right. We
show,
talked about this in the old
There
episode.
was a Spider-Man TV show that was on at the time, which I remember watching
Yeah.
that, as hokey as that was. You're like,
Yeah, and I remember thinking, you can't mix Spider-Man with Batman. This is dumb. What are you doing?
Right. And because of the old Batman 66, which, we grew up with that shit in syndication. Yeah, it seemed like a weird thing, but it was the water skiing thing. Now, I think that was just a thing that they did at the SeaWorld in Sandusky, Ohio, because it's right on Lake Erie.
Yeah, and there's that. And I remember like some kind of cannon going off.
Yeah.
And the water splash, and we're like, whoa!
Yeah.
It was dumb.
That's fun.
That was all right. All right. What else we got here? What do we have here? Oh, look at this. Virginia Slim's Little Black Book.
Wow.
Look at that for 25 cents. It's like a little book that'll hold your Virginia Slims.
No.
Oh, wait, no. It's just a book.
I think
it's
it's
a book with a pencil.
For writing all your phone numbers of your dates and shit.
Yeah, it's just a little black book from Virginia Slims.
Right.
Look on the back, it has a picture of Virginia Slims.
Wow.
Free when you buy 2 packs.
Oh, shit.
Look at that.
That's funny.
Virginia Slims. Wow. Oh, good scores here at the...
That's fascinating.
Oh, isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, that's sort of fascinating where it's like, wow, I sort of remember that period in time where it was like before they outlawed cigarette advertising or whatever.
Yeah.
Where they would make it part of like a lifestyle brand thing.
Oh yeah, we get Marlboro Miles, we get Marlboro
That's what
like
they came out
outdoors
with.
thing. You get a belt buckle if you've had 20 packs,
Yeah, they couldn't advertise a cigarette, so they'd start advertising
the outdoor lifestyle.
Yeah. Which was really just like, you'd be like, because I remember we were fascinated with the Marlboro Miles when they first came out, and it was like, they would have like a leather duster for like, 350 or 700
Yeah.
things, and then you think to yourself, that's 700 packs of cigarettes.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to get it. But I did say, but if we all pulled our money together, I still have it to this day, like a metal tin, and inside it had a belt buckle. But I don't know where the belt buckle went. But I kept the tin because I used to keep my marijuana pipe inside it. But it was like a square, like probably about the size of a waffle.
Huh.
And it was a metal tin. It was pretty cool. We got it off Marlboro Miles.
Was that a cam? Oh, was it? I was gonna say, was it a Camel one?
No, it was Marlboro Miles because it was the outdoor, and it had the Marlboro guy's silhouette in the belt buckle.
Ah.
Yeah. But I don't know where the belt buckle went. I think my brother might have taken that. But I got the tin, which I have to this day. Okay, I got 2. Here's the 2 big winners. I was going to put this on for you, but maybe not. What do you think? A Wendy's wig.
That's a Pippi Longstocking.
Yeah, it's a Pippi Longstocking. What do we got here? Let's go. Let's do it up. And the last but not least, it's a lot of fun. All right, how do we put it on here?
Well, if that's older, it might not be too bad.
I don't know. Which is the front? Well, which is the front? With this, the bangs, would that be the
Yes.
back?
No, that's probably the front.
That's the front. Let me see the picture here. Ah, yeah, the bangs. Okay, that's the bangs. Let's do it. How do I
back's
look?
going to go further down the back of your head.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. How do I look?
It's not too shabby.
All right. So there we go. And then this one. Oh, this is where I found this one at your...
Oh, right down
Yard
the street.
sales.
Yeah,
Scores.
this one.
Yard
It's
sales. Scores.
Sarah Palin doll.
Oh, wow. Bendy
It says,
figure.
"You betcha."
Wow.
Look, for 50 cents. Sarah Palin, the bendable, posable doll. It has a moose right here.
Dude, I tell you, man, that is unopened. It's not like that's just kicking around. Like
That's what I thought too. I was like, wow, this is kind of weird.
I mean, it's not mint, but holy fucking, like, wow.
Yeah,
That's from a moment in time.
it is. I know. It looks like Tina Fey. And,
Right?
And even has the red.
Yeah, the red blazer.
Yeah.
That is definitely
Ages
a
14 and up, oddly enough. Yeah, bendable, posable Sarah Palin doll. So
Right.
there we go. Pretty
Wow.
good. Wow. Pretty good.
Yeah, so that's sort of interesting because a couple of those, that Virginia Slims thing, that's sort of fascinating to me. It's sort of like wow. That's, and it would have made sense if it was like a little cigarette case, but it's actually like a little book with a pencil to write through.
Yeah. Which I might use it for that. I was thinking like, hey, this might be, now that I'm thinking about it, that could actually be good for open mic night. Just write a little scribble down. Oh, I got a little idea, a little pull out of my pocket,
Yeah.
travel along.
But also those sort of little notebook things, like those are
those are fun.
yeah, those are everywhere.
I know. I know. I always had them, and know what I did with them? I made flip-it books.
Well, of course you did.
All right.
Actually, if you want one of those, my girlfriend has some extra ones.
What?
Those little books like that.
Oh yeah, I always did the sticky note ones, the big fat ones with the yellow sticky notes.
Yeah, the Post-its.
Yeah.
Well, she had gotten these little books for the blues workshop we did out in Arizona on a Sunday. So she had gotten this for the workshop, but so we had some extra ones. So if you want one, let me know.
Should we do 1989? Well, what am I wearing this wig for? All right.
You love the wig.
It was fun.
It's not a bad wig. Like I don't know how well it comes across on camera, but in person it's like bright red. And it's like sort of iridescent, like shiny red. It's pretty fun.
I know.
That's not too bad. I mean, it doesn't look cheap. It looks pretty okay.
Well, that's Pippi Longstocking. I was thinking, you're right, Pippi Longstocking. I was thinking more of the Wendy's girl.
That too. I mean, honestly, like
it is kind of the same character in a weird way.
Yeah. How far off are we?
I know. I was thinking of like pulling up the Wendy's drive-thru and just be like, "I'm here." Pull up inspections.
Yeah. Find one of those dresses like that and go in wearing all that. You guys hiring?
Yeah, but be a guy.
Can I apply for a job?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that'd be funny if you just like hung around outside the fucking restaurant.
In that suit with that, with dress as Wendy like that, like a weird,
Yeah, and then the people from Wendy's have to come out and be like, you can't stand here doing this.
Why can't I? I'm eating my fries. And just stand out there and eat fries.
People are going to think you work for us.
People take your pictures and stuff like that. It'd be like, how people always complain in New York City with the guys in like the fat guy in the bad Spider-Man suit and the Elmos, and they smell like alcohol and they ask for money.
Do they do that in New York City? I thought that was always more of a LA thing outside Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Oh, yeah, they do it in Times Square, yeah. And what they'll do, they'll go, take a picture, take a selfie, and once you take a selfie, then they hit you up for money.
Yeah. Well, I know the businesses get nervous about that sort of shit, like Disney parks. They have an issue because people come in costumes, and sometimes these costumes people come in, they do the makeup and the hair like they look full on legit, and then Disney's like, yeah, but you're not legit, so we can't just have strangers in costumes taking pictures with kids and the families and kids thinking that these are Disney employees.
I can see it in the Star Wars land people doing that, and then after a while, at what point does oh, here comes sexy stormtrooper with her tits hanging out.
Well, that too.
And then it's like, well, they're not officially sanctioned.
That's it.
That's
it right there, yeah.
So, there's a gray area.
Yeah, they got to sort of maintain some sort of control.
Yeah, because eventually, there'll be like a guy with a beard and giant tits or something like that. Because the cosplay people, you ever see a cosplay convention thing?
Yeah.
All roads lead back to giant tits.
Well, I mean, look.
Those cosplay, and sometimes those girls are beautiful girls, but they dress up, they'll do like a hot version of like, oh, here comes a sexy stormtrooper, and you're like, oh.
Well, they're all...
They hit all your nerd fetishes at once.
Dude, there's nothing hotter than nerd chicks to me.
I know. I
love nerd chicks.
I was partial to Thelma.
Thelma?
Yeah. Or not, in...
Thelma and Louise?
No, in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, Velma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, Velma's great. No, but actual nerd girls.
Oh, yeah, those cosplays, yeah.
Love the nerd girls.
All right, well, you want to do real quick?
Super
we can
hot.
do it real quick. We're almost to an hour, but we're all right. We got 1988. We can do it.
You want to run through? Okay.
Let's do it real quick.
Okay. What do you want to hit up first? What do you feel like?
Well, you get your list together. I'll bounce right in. 1988, significant year. It was the final year of Ronald Reagan, and the year George H.W. Bush was elected. Ushering in the new era of American politics. Internationally, the INF Treaty was signed, which they said was the end of the Cold War, but the Soviet Union began its transition. But economically, but blah, blah, blah. It's going to build a while. Let's see. Floppy disks were a thing. Floppy disks. Get this. The Netherlands became the second country to us to being connected to the internet.
Nice. So they laid the transatlantic internet cable.
Yes, they laid. Yep, that's another thing. The first transatlantic fiber optic cable, TAT-8, became operational. Yeah, so let's see. Table tennis became an Olympic sport. Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Okay. Stephen Hawking released his bestseller, Brief History in Time. I don't know that. You ever read that one?
No, it's like theoretical physics and stuff like that.
Oh, that seems like a lot of work.
I mean, to read, sure.
Yeah, and now I got stuff like, oh, there's this movie, but you'll get into that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of movies.
Well, a bunch. We got to trim it down because we get long in the movie. Okay, denim was the fashion. Oh, in the U.S., CDs outsold vinyl records for the first time in 1988.
Interesting.
Now, we were all cassette people by then. I'm pretty sure cassettes were outselling all of that, I would think.
Well,
right?
cassettes were dominant when we were growing up. When we first started getting into music, we were getting records. We were getting LPs. I had a handful of LPs.
Yeah, I had 45s, but my brother got the big records.
We had... So, when we were little kids...
I didn't really own vinyl too much, other than a handful of 45s.
My brother had Beth from Kiss as a 45, and on the flip side was Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple of K-Tel LPs, like Surf and Drag, Goofy Gold, shit like that.
Yeah, the K-Tels were big. Yeah, those were the ones that'd be like, oh, all disco, and then you'd have the Muppet ones and the...
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and I remember...
Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
Yep, had the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
You got Bee Gees record.
Might have had Grease soundtrack, I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
And so the first I got LPs. I remember I had Shout at the Devil on LP, the first two Def Leppard albums on LP. My brother had a couple of Crocus albums on LP. He might have those first two Dio albums on LP. Yeah, because I remember, I think you, me, and Jones, or maybe it was me and Roman Jones, listening to those first Dio albums. Remember that stereo that was in my brother's room? It was the old like stereo with the lid and shit.
You're right.
That thing fucking cracked.
It had the wood. It had the wood around it, so
yeah.
So it had bass.
Yeah, and it had a fucking strong amp in it, man. We would crank that thing, and it was just like, and it was crisp, and it was like fucking. That was good. I remember doing that. So those are albums, and then I remember having the first where I switched over to cassettes, and I got Jimi Hendrix, All Your Experience, Van Halen, Fair Warning. You know what I mean, like that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But then it was all cassettes until the CD stuff started coming in. But when the CD stuff first came in, once again, they didn't have oversampling. So if you looked at it sideways, the CD skipped.
That is true. That is true. Because I remember having an original Discman before they had that anti-skip function.
Yep, me too.
And it was unlistenable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd lay it on the table and it would skip.
Yep.
If you bumped the table, it's...
Yep. Because I tried listening to CDs at school on the desk.
Yeah.
And it was like, literally, like you bump the corner of the desk and it skips. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, this is terrible. I can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, it was slightly better than a LP.
Right, yeah. That's why cassettes were a lot, although the only thing the cassettes were bad for was heat and sunlight.
Heat and sunlight was bad. Also, the thing that sucked with those was...
leaving them in the car, you know.
Well, but the Walkmans, the tape players, the batteries, because you're driving motors and all this sort of stuff, it sucked batteries down.
Yeah,
like
and I don't know when the good alkalines started coming out. Batteries never really started hitting good until probably 2013.
Yeah.
Batteries were always weak as fuck.
And the electronics were very inefficient. So
yeah,
a lot of mechanical shit moving parts.
Let's see, what else we got? Transatlantic, Stealth Bomber came out.
Okay.
The Stealth Bomber, that's a good score. Human Genome Project launched. All right. Seoul Summer Olympics. All right, now I got some TVs and song here, but you'll get into that. Hubble taste. The Hubble. First computer virus in the wild called the Morris worm.
Huh.
It was called a worm, though. They didn't call it a computer virus. They called it a worm. They were called worms back then. I was thinking. Also, here, this is an oldie but a goodie. Guess what? Nike launched the Just Do It campaign. 1980.
Wow.
Yeah, remember they're still at it, right? Do they still have Just Do It, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, it's still there. It's like a brand.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Calvin and Hobbes is popular. And the first Walmart Supercenter opens.
Wow.
And that's pretty much it. Then I got some songs and whatnot, but you'll get to that in songs and TV. Let's lay it out there.
Yeah. So TV-wise, everything is what it is. It's the 80s. It's sitcoms. So it's Cosby, Roseanne, Different World, Cheers, 60 Minutes, Golden Girls, Who's the Boss, Murder, She Wrote, Empty Nest, Anything But Love, Dear John.
You didn't mention Roseanne last week, so
right.
I'm
So
thinking
Roseanne's new. I think
she's hot though as a comedian, and that's,
I think she was really hot at the time. Well, she had a HBO. She was on one of those young comedians shows, and then they gave her own stand-up special, which killed it.
She came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Empty Nest, I believe, is new. That's the Richard Mulligan one with Christy McNichol and whatnot, and Manning, Deidre Manning or whatever. Anyway. Dear John, that was the Judd Hirsch one. LA Law, Growing Pain. Alf still hanging in there.
Alf is still hanging in there, weirdly enough.
Unsolved Mysteries in the Heat of the Night. Hunter, still viable.
Yeah,
Hunter's
I know.
from like 82. Like Hunter was a decent show with Fred Dwyer and
I know.
Fred
I remember.
Dryer
You know,
and
I
Stephanie
can't
Kramer.
remember any episodes offhand. I try to scroll my brain, and I can remember the opening sequence, and that's it.
It was a pretty good cop show. You know,
it?
yeah.
Hunter?
It wasn't getting too goofy. Head of the Class.
Didn't
Night Court.
Cops come out this year? I think Cops debuts.
Probably.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be a couple of years before it starts catching on. Because remember, back then we don't even have Fox here in town.
Oh, right.
So, Hogan Family, Wonder Years, Amen. Yeah, Knots
Yeah,
Landing.
Wonder Years. Wonder Years was a big deal.
And there's a lot of like, you know, the typicals I'm skipping over. Monday Night Football, NBC Sunday Night Movie, NBC Monday Night Movie, CBS Sunday Movie, ABC Mystery Movie. You know, Dallas is down at the bottom.
Yeah, have they done? They've long done the Who Shot JR,
I believe so.
and now I think they're just living off their laurels, like an extra season or
I
something
think
like
so.
that.
I think so. Yeah. So let's go through music real quick. Music is very interesting. At this point in '88, all bets are off. Fucking everything's wide
Yeah, the
open.
radio is merged with MTV.
It's all over the
movie
place.
soundtracks, TV. It's all interplayed.
This is a list of like 66 top albums of the year or whatever. I'm not going to hit everything, but just go through and I'll hit interesting stuff. Number 66, David Lee Roth, Skyscraper.
Oh, we saw that tour. Yeah,
Right.
that one was all right.
65, Bon Jovi, New Jersey.
Arguably, I think good album. I liked it.
All right, and then there's some of these I don't know. This might be a European list. Marley Marl, I don't know what that is. Big Daddy Kane, Long Live the Kane. Morrissey, Viva
Oh,
Hate.
Morrissey. He's solo. He's from the
Richards.
Smiths, you know.
Yeah, Keith Richards' solo album, Talk Is Cheap.
That one had the "Should Take It So Hard" song. That was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, okay. I don't.
It was one song that you go, this should have been a Rolling Stones song, and if it was, it'd be cool. I would like the Rolling Stones.
I think at that time Mick Jagger wasn't super interested in the Stones. He was just hanging out. So
Yeah, he was
Keith-
hanging out with models,
Yeah, with Jerry Hall.
dancing with David Bowie.
Yeah. New Kids on the Block, Hanging Tough.
Oh, they're new there.
Robert Palmer's Heavy Nova. With
We
Simply-
liked Robert Palmer.
Yep, with Simply
Fucking
Irresistible.
strong ass band.
Yeah. Well, then he did Power Station.
Power Station was strong.
Yeah, that was with Andy and John Taylor from Duran Duran.
Yeah.
And the drummer was Chris Slade or something like that, the bald guy.
Yeah. Who
AC/DC
ended
or
up in
something?
AC/DC at one
Yeah.
point.
The Pogues, If I Should Fall from Grace with God.
All right, that's all for early alternative, you know.
They Might Be Giants.
Yeah,
Lincoln.
there we go. Hey, They Might Be Giants was around in '88.
Yeah.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah, this is the one that included Anna Ng and Purple Toupee.
See, now we're talking. Now you're seeing bands like the Pogues. You're seeing that. You probably see some early REM. The alternative
coming.
is starting to come out.
It's
because
coming. Well, that's what I'm saying. The alternatives here. Van
yeah,
Morrison,
the college rock.
Van Morrison and the Chieftains.
Okay.
Irish Heartbeat. Voice of the Beehive, Let It Be. I don't know what that is. It says a pop rock band's debut studio albums, Free Spirited Adventures, both joyous and wonderfully eclectic. I don't know.
Sure.
Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers.
All right.
Conscious Party, Billy Bragg. Brian Wilson. Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Oh boy.
Lita Ford, Lita. This is the
Oh.
one with.
Is that the Kiss Me Deadly
Kiss
one?
Me Deadly, Close My Eyes Forever.
Oh yeah, because the Aussie debut. Yeah, the Aussie duet. The big play for both of them.
Both of them, huge numbers.
Yeah, that really. Yeah.
MC Light, Light as a Rock.
Oh, she was cool.
She was always good. Melissa Etheridge, so that must be her
Come to My
first
Window, yeah.
solo album, or first album. Ministry, Land of Rape and Honey.
Wow, that's arguably wow, Land of Rape and Honey. And they were kind of synthy at first. Before they went heavy industrial, they were kind of weird synthy. They weren't really. They're kind of goofy.
That's what it says here. The band's 1988 album officially marked their transition from synth pop to industrial metal.
Yep.
Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two.
Oh, I can't get away from that. That's still around to this day.
Yeah. Robert Plant, Now in Zen.
Yeah, that arguably the best Robert Plant. Those albums he had around now. Great.
Yeah, when he went solo.
Ship
yeah.
of Fools and all that shit.
Yeah.
That was arguably as good as Zeppelin to me. I like.
I mean, definitely top-notch stuff. He's working with top-notch producers,
Oh yeah,
musicians.
timeless.
Roxette, Look Sharp. The look. She has got the look.
Oh, that yeah.
Salt and Pepper.
Oh, right, yeah.
Assault
That,
with a
oh,
Deadly
God, I
Pepper.
couldn't get away from Salt and Pepper.
This one had Push It.
Oh, that was the push-up. That was before
Huge.
What a Man, right?
Oh yeah, before they blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Push It was like classic, hip hop sort of thing, and that blew up.
And that was in movies, too, because you'd hear that
it's
Push It, the
still in
beginning of
stuff,
Push
yeah.
It. Everything from Uncle Buck to on down.
Yeah, and then they blew it up in the next 10 years. Susie
Yeah.
and the Banshees, Peep Show.
Alternative.
Yep. Van Halen, OU812.
Oh, Sammy Hagar Van Halen.
Yep. This is ones with Finish What You Started, Source of Infection. All right. Eazy-E. Yeah, Easy Does It.
Oh, that's
NWA
before he
rappers,
died, so
1988,
Eazy-E's
first
solo.
debut.
Yeah.
And Pet Shop Boys, Introspective. Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man. Poison, Open Up and Say Ah.
That was a big record for them.
Living Color, Vivid.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. Cowboy Junkies, Trinity Sessions.
That's good.
808 State, New Build. A band called Guy. I don't know. Soundgarden, Ultra Mega OK. I've got that album.
Wow. But we weren't aware of it then. That was probably just a Seattle thing then.
Yeah,
Sub Pop.
Sub Pop, yeah.
So it's probably blending in college charts and we didn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve Winwood, Roll With It. Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel.
Ugh.
Ultramagnetic MCs, Critical Beatdown. I don't know what that is. Slick Rick. Great Adventures of Slick Rick. Anita Baker, Giving You the Best That I Got. Lucinda Williams, Happy Mondays. The Go-Betweens, Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime.
From Seattle once again.
Right. Jungle Brothers, Straight Out of the Jungle. I can't even pronounce that one. Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking.
Ooh.
Slayer, South of Heaven.
Well, now here we go. We're in 1988. Keep in mind, you've got Poison, you've got Ministry, then you got what'd you just say?
Slayer, South of Heaven.
Slayer, and what was right before Slayer?
Jane's Addiction.
Jane's Addiction. You know, I mean,
Traveling Wilburys.
I mean, 1988 is just a
For
smorgasbord
people who don't
of
know,
music.
Traveling Wilburys was a super group
Yeah.
of Roy Orbison, Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne from ELO, and George Harrison
Mm-hmm.
from the Beatles. Boogie Down Productions, By Any Means Necessary.
Yeah.
Paula Abdul, Forever Your Girl. EPMD, Strictly Business.
Mm-hmm.
Sade, Stronger Than Pride. REM, Green. Talk Talk, Spirit of Eden. Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader.
Love that record.
And the Pixies, Surfer Rosa.
All right.
Metallica and Justice for All. Wow. U2, Rattle and Hum.
Big
Tracy
record for
Chapman,
them.
Tracy Chapman.
Oh, that's Fast Car.
Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation. Some band called My Bloody Valentine, I don't know. NWA, Straight Outta Compton, number 2. Number 1, Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
That was the number one record. Was
From 1988.
number one record.
So you can see rap is well represented.
Oh yeah.
Metal is well represented.
Yeah.
The pop is well represented.
Alternative is
the
popping
stuff
up,
is
yeah.
well represented. So floodgates are open for music. Just it's all over the place.
Yeah, and I like that time too, even though we were definitely leaning towards metal. I will say,
Here's another music list. Also, I see on this one of my favorite albums, So Far So Good, So What, from Megadeth.
oh yeah, you like that one.
Well, yeah, that was all we got for like 7 years.
That was pre-Peace Cells?
No, it was after Peace Sells.
So Far So Good, So What?
Yeah.
Was that the one with In My Darkest Hour?
And Set the World Afire.
Oh, all
502.
right. Yeah, that was a good record,
That was
right?
a great one. And then that was the only thing that they had until, was it Hangar 18 or whatever?
Yeah, you're right. He kind of disappeared.
Which was like
for a while.
92 or something like that. Anyway, Love Sexy from Prince.
Oh, okay.
You know. Yeah,
Prince
Talk Is
still
Cheap.
big though. I mean, even though that wasn't one of his bigger records, Prince is everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Prince was huge, like all over the place.
Yeah, Michael Jackson was huge too. I think a Bad Tour was going on right now. So Michael Jackson
Probably,
is
yeah.
touring and doing his shit. So you still can't get away from the supers.
No.
But
so-
you got MTV, you got music, so everything's virgin. And this is, well, I didn't get the job at the record store till 92. But we were regular fixtures at the mall and record stores, so we knew what was going on.
But everything is like big business. Big business in music, big business in MTV, all the stuff. They're just cranking it out. So, let's blow through some movies real quick.
All right, here
You
we
want
go.
to take a guess? 1988 top movie.
Well, I know from my list, I'm cheating on this one a little bit, but I'm going to have to throw you. Rain Man.
No.
No? Beetlejuice.
No.
Okay.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, which arguably was huge, yes.
Huge movie. I think this was Robert Zemeckis' follow-up to Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a great movie, honestly. You know,
Yeah.
to merge real life in cartoons like that, you got to admit, still to this day, it holds up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very, if you watch the behind the scenes, it's very interesting how they did it. It was like using old school techniques with like early nascent computer animation stuff.
Arguably, we still would all do Jessica Rabbit.
Because Robert Zemeckis sort of goes down this rabbit hole of the, yeah, of course.
No pun intended.
That's how she's drawn. Robert Zemeckis goes down this rabbit hole of the animation stuff. Because then he does like Polar Express, stuff like that.
That was lame.
But he's
there.
He's doing it fully CGI
Yes.
with the characters and stuff like that. And I believe, didn't he do the Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, where it's all animated?
Maybe he did.
That one's actually pretty good. I think I've got that on DVD or Blu-ray or something like that.
I don't know.
Because the animation's pretty cool on that. And it's Jim Carrey playing like all the characters. So Jim Carrey is Scrooge. Jim Carrey is the Ghost of Christmas Past, the Ghost of Christmas Present, Ghost of Christmas Future.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Number 2, Coming to America.
Oh, Eddie Murphy's back.
Huge.
Yeah, that was a huge movie. You're right.
Huge movie. Beating out number 3, Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh, Robin Williams. Getting
love that
serious
movie.
here.
I probably watched that movie once.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I don't know if I liked it, but I didn't hate it. I watched it, though. I remember it being on.
Yeah, I didn't. It was sort of like, okay, he's some sort of Vietnam DJ, something like that. He cheeses off.
It was half
higher-ups.
serious, half comedic. It was kind of
Something
like
like
a
that,
good
yeah.
transition for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good for him. Yeah, for sure. Big. Penny
Oh,
Marshall
that's
directed.
Tom Hanks. Now, Tom Hanks is starting to pop more.
Tom Hanks, yeah, he's definitely getting out of the money pits. Joe versus the volcanoes,
Yes.
the Dragnets. I think he did Dragnet last year in '87.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big was huge. Crocodile Dundee 2, 3 Men and a Baby, still. Still.
Good
From November 25th, so from Thanksgiving previous year. Cocktail.
Oh, okay. That was Tom Hanks flipping bottles.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, boy, that really took bartenders to the next level, huh? That was like the Roadhouse of bartenders.
I'm sure thousands of bartenders got laid from that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck.
Actually, that's from December '87, but still, Moonstruck. Cher won an Oscar. Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Cher,
I've never
yeah.
actually seen it.
I can't say that I've seen it. I know what you're talking about, though, but
That might be an interesting watch. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, Cher's one of those ones you go, I don't know if I want to see it. Cher's in it. And then you see it and you go, hey, Cher was pretty good.
No, she's okay.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Like, I liked her in Mask. She was really good. And it's like, oh, man, she actually deserves an award for that. That was pretty good.
She was really good in Silkwood, too.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Oh, Die Hard, Christmas movie of the year.
Well, except it was released on July 15th, so is it a Christmas movie? Let's
Well, maybe it
debate.
didn't pick up steam. I'll guarantee you this is going to be hot next year. This is going to be number 1 next year.
Probably. I mean,
You know? Just
yeah.
like, how come Rain Man hasn't popped up? I thought Rain Man was this year.
it'll probably get there.
Okay.
There's sort of a lot going on.
Oh,
here.
okay.
The thing about the Die Hard, I just want to say, at the time, people might watch it now and they'd be like, oh, big deal. But a lot of the schmaltzy action movies that were going on during the 80s were pretty schmaltzy.
Mm-hmm.
But Die Hard, because I always sort of suffered through those action movies. And I didn't want to watch Die Hard. And I ended up watching Die Hard because it was the only thing on HBO, and I think we were on vacation or something like that. And I was like, it's not bad.
Yes, the pacing was really good.
Yeah.
And in those days, pacing was typically terrible in a movie.
Especially the action movies.
Yeah, that one moved you through, but it was, I like the hostage situation in a building,
was
in
sort
a
of
high
clever.
rise.
Yeah.
That was kind of, and yeah, they utilized it really well.
Yeah. Next up, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Twins.
Oh, that was, I heard Schwarzenegger, that was one of his, at the time, he had done all these movies, and this was his payday. The one he made the most money out of was Twins,
Oh, yeah.
up to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think...
Terminator, he made more money off Twins than he did Terminator.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a nobody in Terminator. He
Yeah.
probably just got paid to do the thing.
Yeah.
Terminator 2 he probably cashed in on.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely, because I'm sure Danny DeVito showed him some of the ropes here.
Oh, right, yeah. Or maybe he's moved on to a better agency or something like that now.
Yeah, because
Moved up the ranks with an agents.
for sure. Fish Called Wanda.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah.
It's very British, but I dig it. Willow.
Oh, Willow, okay. All right.
Naked Gun.
Oh, right, yeah.
December
What's the new
2nd
one?
it comes out.
Yeah.
Speaking of it, Scrooged,
Scrooged.
right?
All right.
Rambo 3.
Rambo 3, really?
Yeah.
Ew.
Rambo 3. Bull Durham. Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Rain Man.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh, wow. This is out here. I thought this, I would have lost the $1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and said that this came out in 92, but here it is. April 15th, 1988. Colors. Colors.
soundtrack was bigger than the movie, it felt like.
It brought in gangster rap.
You're right.
This-
And that might have been bringing gangster rap to suburbia like we were at, where we're at, because we're white suburban metalheads.
Because it was like, sure,
Yeah, we got our Fat Boys and Run DMC, but we weren't really getting straight out of Compton yet.
but look at the albums you do. I mean,
Yeah,
this
they were
is-
there, but we glossed right over and we walked right
This
by
is,
them.
you get the NWA, you get the Public Enemy, but Colors really kicked it open for the whole Bloods and Crips, the gang thing. Like
That's true.
the
That's true.
hardcore gangster rap stuff starts after this, or within a couple of years. It may have taken a couple of years to filter down to, like, once again, HBO when everybody saw it. I don't think everybody. Well, I guess people did. And it's number 21 for the year, Colors. So I mean, it's definitely making money.
Yeah.
Anyway, it beat out Young Guns.
Oh gosh, yeah, and
That
that's
was-
Bon Jovi solo too, doing the soundtrack.
Did he?
Yeah, he did all this music in it, which
Well-
wasn't bad.
Well, the second one, because they wanted to use the Blaze of Glory song.
Yeah.
Was it? No, it was
Yeah, it was Blaze of Glory.
Steel Horse on the Cowboy.
Oh, they wanted to use Dead or
Wanted
Alive,
Dead or Alive,
but
yeah,
they
yeah.
couldn't get the rights to the Bon Jovi band, so they got him
Well,
to
because
do it.
Bon Jovi said it didn't make sense because the whole song's about on a steel horse I ride.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's doing, what's that animated one where they had mechanical horses or whatever?
Yeah.
Blaze Star or something like that. Anyway, Biloxi Blues, The Great Outdoors, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd.
That wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was all right. Big Business, Land Before Time, Midnight Run, The Deadpool.
You and I saw this in the movie theater.
We did. We saw
because it had a Guns N' Roses appearance. Remember, Guns N' Roses were in it at the graveyard scene.
No, they weren't. The song, Welcome to the Jungle, was in it. It was actually Jim Carrey doing a rock star character who was filming a music video in the cemetery, who then, in the next two scenes later, overdoses and dies, and thus the movie kicks off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't remember being carried, but you're right. I remember you and I went to the movie there, like we were just bored and stoned one day, and we were like, let's go see Deadpool.
Yeah, because back then, all the metal shit was very underground.
Yes.
So if anything percolated up into the mainstream, it was like, we got to see what this is about.
Yeah, and it was in Clint Eastwood, and we were like, okay, guns, detectives, okay.
Did you go with me to see that heavy metal horror movie, Trick or Treat, starring the kid that played Skippy on Family
Yeah, I
Ties?
know who you're talking.
Mark
I
or
don't think
something?
I saw that in the theater. No, I think I backtracked that
I
on
saw that one in
HBO
the
later.
theater. Once again, because it was, it had a metal soundtrack and shit, so you
Sure.
wanted to support the cause.
Yeah, we're just looking for something.
Voting with your dollar. Red Heat.
Oh, Red Heat. What's that about?
This is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Belushi. He's a Russian KGB guy looking for defectors. Jim Belushi's a Chicago cop. Red Heat.
Of course.
I mean, it's a buddy cop picture. Schwarzenegger again. I mean, it was a small budget movie. Here it is coming in at 29 for the year.
Red Heat. And it's funny, Schwarzenegger's from Austria, but he's going to play a Russian agent. And then, of course, Jim Belushi's from New York, but we're going to...
No, Chicago.
Well, yeah, we'll say he's from Chicago.
No, it's Chicago.
Yeah, he knows the Chicago
he's from
accent.
Chicago,
Cop. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, on Amazon Prime, watch Real Men with John Ritter and Jim Belushi.
Yeah, you've been wanting to see that.
I just watched it a couple weeks ago. It's fucking hysterical. You gotta watch it. Last Emperor. This is Steven Spielberg with 13-year-old Christian Bale as the main character. If you've never seen, oh no, wait, sorry, that was Empire of the Sun.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with the little kid. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Last Emperor with little kid Emperor. I think it's Japanese, about World War II. Anyway, The Accused, Jodie Foster. Remember that one?
Nope.
It's Jodie Foster, Kelly McGillis. She's some girl from West Virginia that gets like gang raped on a pinball machine in a bar. Remember The Accused? Yeah. Anyway, Tequila Sunrise. This is like Kurt Russell and fucking I don't know, Mel Gibson or something. I don't know.
I hope they don't use the Tequila Sunrise song by the Eagles in it.
Oh shit. Oh, is that a thing? I don't know. Yeah. Shoot to Kill, Child's Play,
Oh yeah.
Ernest Saves Christmas,
Oh, of course he does.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels,
Of course. That was actually pretty good.
directed by Frank Oz. Funny Farm
Okay.
with Chevy Chase. That was one of those terrible Chevy Chase movies we were talking about. So there's Funny Farm. Alien Nation. Remember that? James Caan, Mandy Patinkin.
No.
They're cops, and this is like 5 years after the aliens come.
Okay.
And the aliens turned out that they were a slave race that this other alien species had in this ship. The ship broke down, and they fucking left it, and they left all these slave aliens here to die. And so they sort of got assimilated into society. Remember Alien Nation?
Yeah,
James
and
Caan is a
wasn't
cop.
one a cop?
They're both cops.
Yeah, they were like a partner, and one was an alien, one was a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vaguely, yeah.
Alien Nation, yeah. They've done spin-offs from it. And
That's a
sort of
good
shit.
premise.
It's a great premise. And they did a TV series off of it for years,
Okay.
which I don't think, didn't grab me, but was on for years, and people really liked it.
Okay.
Because it's a pretty good premise.
That's a good
But
one.
it's sort of like the same premise that Neil Blomkamp did with District 9. Yeah. Anyway, Gorillas in the Mist. Remember that one?
Oh, okay.
License to Drive, The Corys. Remember that
That's
one?
a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one. That actually holds up. Silly, but it's good.
Yeah, it's totally silly, but yeah, not a bad movie. Married to the Mob.
Oh, okay.
Michelle Pfeiffer, one of her first movies. Punchline, Sally Field, Tom
Oh,
Hanks.
yeah, she's a stand-up comic. Yeah, the housewife, and yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember much about that one. Short Circuit 2, Johnny Number 5. Action Jackson with Carl Weathers and Vanity.
Jackson. Yeah.
Right. Serpent and the Rainbow.
Okay.
The Presidio. Police Academy 5. Friday the 13th, Part 7. The Seventh Sign. Remember this one?
No.
This was a cool flick.
Really?
Yeah. This was Demi Moore
Okay.
is a pregnant woman
Oh.
whose baby is going to be born without a soul, which will bring on the end of the world. Remember this one?
Oh, I think so. Okay, keep going.
And so she goes to this priest for help. The bad guy in that movie is the Roman soldier who stabbed Christ with the spear, and he was sentenced to walk the earth until the end of time. So he's trying to bring on the end of the world. This was kind of a cool flick.
Yeah, what a premise. Well, that's
Yeah.
a good elevator
Yeah.
pitch.
Yeah. Because this is the Seventh Sign. Because there's a Seventh Seal, which is an Ingmar Bergman movie.
All right.
This is the Seventh Sign. I like this one. If you haven't seen it in a while, like pair that with Angel Heart. Whoa, that's a fucking double. That's a double feature right there.
Yeah.
So, Seventh Sign is fun. Watch Seventh Sign. Above the Law, Steven Seagal.
Of course.
Working Girl, Melanie Griffith.
All right.
Griffin.
Griffin?
Remember,
Griffith? Yeah.
Kathy Griffin said, "It's always Griffin unless it's Andy Griffith. He's
Right.
the only Griffith.
It's always Griffin.
It's always Griffin."
Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin, Melanie Griffin, Kathy
Okay.
Griffin. They're all
Okay.
Griffins. All right. Which Kathy Griffin's back, by the way. I love Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, I see her popping around on podcasts lately.
She's
all right.
She's
I'm
cranking
cool with
it
it.
out on the YouTube and stuff. I always enjoy
Yeah,
Kathy
the right
Griffin.
wingers drug her through the mud.
I know
And she can get annoying, but I like her. I would be more friends with her,
I always liked her gossipy comedy shit. It always makes
Yeah,
me
I think
laugh.
she'd be a fun neighbor.
Because
She'd
she's
be
always
good
on
to hang.
stage and she's like telling stories and like oh shit, let me tell you about this.
Yeah.
I like that. That's funny. And she's got stories, man. She's been around
Yeah.
for forever.
And as a stand-up, too, she's probably got a wealth of knowledge.
Wealth of knowledge. Frantic, Johnny Be Good, For Keeps,
right.
Mississippi Burning, Bright Lights, Big City, Masquerade, Throw Mama from the Trainer. We had that.
Yeah,
Big
there's-
Top Pee Wee. There we go.
Oh, Big Top Pee Wee. That's Pee Wee, too. Yeah.
School Days, which is Spike Lee. I believe that's the one about dance things at historically black universities. Tucker, the Man in His Dreams, Poltergeist 3. There you go.
Yeah.
Stand and Deliver.
All right.
They Live. How about that?
Oh, They Live, yeah.
We'll end with They Live.
That's
John
Roddy Piper.
Carpenter. Yep. Roddy Piper.
That was a
movie.
great premise for it. That was a good elevator pitch there, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I love They Live. It's sort of a weird movie in the pacing and how it rolls out, but the concept is great.
Have they tried to remake They Live?
I don't know.
That feels like something they should have, not should have, but I could picture them trying to redo it in maybe 2015.
Yeah.
and it not flying. But it could. They almost could.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. That would be a good one in a weird sense. But the glasses, you can kind of see it's kind of hokey, but I don't know. That actually, you know what? They should remake that, but do it in like a dark noirish kind of animation. You know?
Yeah, although I do like that it's live, you know.
Yeah.
And it does have a cult following. I see those the way the aliens look. Like there's
Didn't
like
they look
action
like
figures of those.
Yeah, didn't they just look more like leftovers from the V set? Like they got some extra masks from V?
No, but it is a weird thing where it almost looks like if you take off the skin and you just look at the muscles.
Oh, it's one of the the humans. Yeah, it looks like like a Mr. Goodbody suit.
Yeah, it was sort of weird that way in the faces.
Yeah.
But the thing that was really cool about that is they didn't really hit you over the head with the sci-fi element.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like he puts on the glasses and then so the whole concept is that the aliens have infiltrated our society. They're all over the place. They're pulling the strings behind the scenes. They're controlling us through media and advertising, in the billboards and the TV ads and stuff. It's like, and so Roddy Piper finds these glasses, and when you put the glasses on, you can see through all that bullshit. So the sign that's like a perfume ad really just is a white billboard with big black letters saying "obey" and shit like that. Consume, like that's sort of this
underlying it's the conspiratorial concept.
Yeah, and when he puts on the glasses, he can also see through the alien's human disguise. Mm-hmm. So he goes into like a bank and some people in the line at the bank are aliens and the rest are just regular people and stuff like that, and
it's a great concept.
Yeah, but they do it really subtly and they don't really hit you over the head with it because it's not like they get into some sort of big confrontation with the aliens as a whole at the end or anything like that. It's not like you find out more about the aliens. It's not like you get to see their ship or anything like that. But it's a very cynical movie, but classic.
It's pretty good.
They live. Yep, it's a great one. Anyway, so that's it.
Movies are good. 1988. I hope you liked it, folks. Wayback Machine's still cooking.
Movies, TVs, music.
We'll go to 1989 next week. We're getting close to the 90s, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when music's really popular. It's funny now, movies are kind of there, and we get it, but we're actually, music is kind of really...
It's popping. Like you
There's
said.
so many good choices.
Yeah, and there's like 5-6 genres that they're killing all over the place. The rap stuff's getting huge. The metal stuff is starting to get.
The Britpop, the Alterna. You got the metal. You got the rock. You got everything. Everything's
stuff.
kind of like the roads are diverging.
Yeah,
you
start getting the retro stuff with the Ziggy Marley stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
you
stuff.
can get any, but you have to really go down a rabbit hole at this point because there's not a lot of deepness to it. So we're metalheads, but all us metalheads had the same records. All the punk rockers had the same records.
Well,
all the shoegazers had the gothers. They all had.
There were only so many.
Right. So the rabbit hole wasn't very deep. So if you're into rap, you're gonna find it all. If you're into shoegaze, you're into college alterna. The puddle's only so deep.
Yeah, because really, all the rap was pretty much New York based at this time until you get like NWA. They were sort of West Coast rap sort of stuff.
Yeah,
as far as I know. I mean,
there's probably more there that we don't know.
But I just remember all the early rap was New York City stuff. The Queen Latifah, Boogie Down Productions, Eric B. and Rakim, all that sort of stuff. They're all New York City, New Jersey sort of guys.
Before we go, I got a list. I got a best worst list.
Oh, you got.
It's all right. It's not bad. Not bad. This is a fun one. We got time. We'll do it real quick. Oh, do we want to do this? I feel like I want to do this one in the wig. I want to put on.
Well, before you pop on the wig, I just want to ask you real quick. So you did the open mic the other night.
Sure.
Yeah. Getting out doing the open mics.
Huh?
Getting out, doing the open mics, working some materials.
Trying new stuff. There, you got to do it. It's, But at least around here in Erie, the open micers around here, they haven't been at it as long as I have, but I like them. They're all good eggs. And what's cool, in bigger cities, the Cleveland, Pittsburghs, and the Buffaloes, they get a little competitive. Around here, everybody's very nice, very helpful. We all like each other. And when you're an open mic comic, or when you're a comic in general, you got to do open mics because you got to run new stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the only way you can do that stuff.
Yeah, I can't practice in front of a mirror.
No, or the cat.
It just doesn't feel. Yeah, I could even have like 6 of my friends in the living room, and it's not the same.
No.
You got to get in front of people and say it, and just be introduced, brought up, and and you got boom, 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 a time for. So it's kind of like a. So yeah, so I've been goofing around with new ideas, and every time. See, now that I do it, you know, once or twice a week with these people, but they all know me and they know my shit. So here I am. Every week or every mic trying to come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm really pulling from the old premise bag. And some's good, some's bad. I mean, I'm not saying I'm hitting any home runs, but I'm not whiffing either.
But it's the process, like you say.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
got to do it.
I'm hitting singles.
Yeah.
Maybe a steal, a double. But
like
I'm hitting singles and bunts and doubles.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not parking nothing. But I'm banking it up because I know how it feels. So when I get in front of real crowds, you know, I got some gigs next month. I'll advertise. You know, into July and August. September it really picks up, but the summer it's kind of that's all right. But it's fun that way. I like learning the new, you know, and it's humbling too because. You go through a stretch, you could go through 6-7 months worth of gigs, start getting a big head. Oh, I'm a headliner, I'm ready, I'm done featuring, I'm going to be a headliner, I'm the biggest man in the world. And then this phone stops ringing, and then you go, okay, I'm going back to open mics, okay. And then you're back to square one. You know, when you're an 8-year comic and you're rolling around with 1-year comics, you know, and you're all equal. And that's the beauty of it. It's kind of like jamming. It's kind of like getting back in the. It's kind of like getting when you're a musician. It's like, well, got to go back to the garage. I got to go back to my old garage band, and we're all gonna suit up and play Rush songs. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, definitely for sure. Like playing around town in bands. Like back in the day when we were doing bands and stuff, your band was the type of band that would play from 10 to 2.
Oh,
you guys would do all night.
A lot
yourself.
of songs. Yeah.
My bands were always because we were doing all originals. I was doing all originals since like '91 or something like that. So our sets were like 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. You know what I mean? So it was like us and 2 other bands on a show.
Yeah.
Everybody did like one set. So, but in that sort of set, yeah, like nobody was competitive. Like we were all friends with each other and stuff. It was like, oh, I get to do a gig with you or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it was just a genre. Yeah, especially in those days, it wasn't very competitive. You might get competitive in a business sense where it's like, oh, why'd they get the gig and I didn't get the gig? I deserve a gig like that. You might get that way, but there's never any like, oh, fuck those guys. You know, it was just more.
I only felt that in certain instances, like down at the Shooters or State Street Tavern, which was sort of the thrash bar. Which you were kind of in Sherlock's, which was more sort of that was the big mainstream place to play, and I was kind of over in thrash world. Like people would only get competitive sometimes with some bands that would come from out of town.
Sure.
Like if they came in acting like they were big shit.
Yeah.
I know over at the thrash bar people would be like, fuck you, but there were also a lot of like bands that were on the circuit. I remember there was a band from Rochester, New York called Death Tongue. They were dope. I just remember the bass player, he was playing with a pick, and they'd tuck it between his pinky and ring finger and tuck it in, and they'd pop and snap and shit. They were pretty good.
Cool name, Death Tongue. But yeah.
There's a band out of Detroit called 5 Story Fall with a chick singer. Like they were solid. Like they were a good band, you know.
The shit like that was popping.
But those were good bands and they were cool guys. And so, you know, everybody was like, hey, like
the things we had to open for like, since we were kind of at a higher tier, but yet on the other hand, we couldn't quite command the crowd for headlining material. So what we would do is, okay, you got to open for the Kiss tribute band, or some 80s band would roll in like, oh, here comes we got a night with Kicks or the Bullet Boys, and then we got the opening show. We were the band who got to open for all the big guys.
Right, because you guys would do the whole nights there at Sherlock's. Like you could do the whole fucking weekend, Friday and Saturdays.
Yeah.
And you guys were doing like, was it 3 sets, and you would do like 1 set of originals and 2 sets of covers. Now, I don't know if you were mixing them up where it was like a couple of covers and original, a couple of covers original, or you guys did like straight.
We do blocks. We do blocks of 5.
Yeah, didn't you do the second set was all the originals? Or
pretty much.
Like
we tried to do that. We tried to move it around a bit. Yeah. So it was pretty much the second set was like 75% originals.
But you guys would draw enough on the 2 nights, both whole nights that you were there. That when the bigger bands came into town or whatever, and they were playing Sherlock's.
Yeah, and that was our goal. Okay, we thought that was going to be our ticket, but come to find out, you were just end up, it didn't really lead anywhere except for bragging rights. But yeah.
And even when I had like the Nuns with Guns with Tommy and my brother back in the day, like we opened for Quiet Riot down there at Sherlock's.
I've done. We did the Quiet Riot too. Yeah, a couple different reiterations of them.
Yeah.
We were always the opening band for those B circuit bands, and that's fine. That's what you are, But that's but you had to get out there. You had to do it. Yeah. But then there's times when it's like, okay, you did a string of those kind of gigs, and then it's like, all right, well, we're back to the practice place, and when you're back to the practice place, you're starting on square one again. And comedy's different. See, at least in music, we could rehearse. When all else fails, let's go back to the practice place and rehearse.
Well, yeah.
Whereas now, but in comedy, you got to do it live. You got to do it live. That's why we do open mics. That's why there is open mics. That's why they exist, because we have to do it.
In front of peeps.
Yes. Yeah. Humans. Yeah. Humans. All right, let's do the list real quick. We got to do it quick because we're running long in the tooth today. It's a jam-packed episode.
That's not too bad.
All right, what do we got? All right, why don't we try it? Why don't we try it there, fucking Pippi Longstocking?
It is sort of Wendy's, though, yeah.
All right. Speaking of Wendy's, we're going to go foods that shouldn't work together, but do. Food mashups.
So wait. So you got top 5 and bottom 5?
I do got a top and bottom 5. From a bottom 5 would be food mashups that say they work, but bullshit, they don't work.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
All right,
you want to go bottom or top?
Do top first. I feel like the bottom's going to be interesting.
All right. Well, we could go with the honorable mentions to warm it up here. The honorable mentions kind of, all right. Now, these are kind of the chocolate and potato chips together.
Move that left one.
Left one? This one?
Yeah. Back.
Okay. Chocolate and potato chips better. Chocolate and potato chips together. What do you think of that?
Well, that's essentially your chocolate, which is your sweet, and the saltiness from the potato chips.
Yeah.
So it's almost like chocolate covered pretzels sort of thing.
Right, which almost ties into the other honorable mention, chocolate and popcorn.
It does, yeah.
People are putting, people have chocolate covered popcorn.
I guess so, but boy, it just seems like a fucking mess.
Does seem like a mess.
Get it all over your fingers.
Yeah.
All over your face.
I haven't. Okay, here's the number 5 though. Let's go to number 5. Foods that work together, but they shouldn't, but they do. Have you ever had this? Chicken and waffles.
I have had chicken and waffles.
I've never had chicken and waffles. I'm kind of fascinated by it. It seems gross, but it's a thing.
Well, the thing is, you kind of just eat the waffles dry.
Okay, so that ends up being like toast.
Kind of.
Is it kind of like yeah. Well, what about syrup? Are we adding syrup to this?
No.
There's no syrup.
No. Well, I mean, you can if you want to, I guess. I mean, I had it, and it's like they give you like juicy fucking crispy fried chicken just out of the deep fryer. You know what I mean? With
Which
breading
is
and shit.
Awesome.
On like one of those big square thick waffles.
Wow.
And so it's like, you take a bite of the chicken, you take a little the waffle ends up being almost just a little sweet, just in contrast. Not that it's that sweet. I mean.
Okay.
But yeah, it's sort of like, there's a restaurant chain called Raising Cane's. Familiar with it?
I'm the name. I've never been there, of course.
So they are a chicken tenders place.
Oh, sounds like your kind of place.
I've had it. I mean, it's not that great. Their big signature dipping sauce is mayonnaise based, so it's kind of a miss for me. If it was like honey mustard, it'd be more up my alley. But so when you go there, they give you the chicken tenders, the fries, and then a couple pieces of like garlic bread or Italian bread.
Oh, almost like a Texas toast.
Yes, which is sort of like the chicken and waffle sort of thing.
Right. I always thought chicken and waffles, the waffle would have the butter draped over it, and then you just put a little drizzle of.
You can. I mean, I'm sure there's syrup.
That's where I think they were meant to do.
But when I had it, I just wanted to taste the chicken and the waffle. It's pretty tasty.
It works.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never had it. Well, here's one that's pretty common. Big debate. Everyone talks about it. Pineapple on your pizza. Pineapple pizza. What's your take?
Well,
I think it works. I've done it.
Well, it's actually Hawaiian pizza.
Sure.
and it's pineapple and ham.
I know, and I like it.
And ideally, it's supposed to be dices of ham, dice cubes of ham,
Yeah.
which will mirror the diced cube pineapple.
Yes.
And I've definitely had it where it's pretty good.
I have too.
You get a little bit of the saltiness from the ham, a little bit of that sort of fruitiness from the pineapple.
Yeah.
Together?
Salt and fruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the salt, and then you're glued together with cheese and sauce. And then depending on the thickness of the toast, the pizza bread and crust, yeah, it's working.
It's not my favoriteest thing. It's not like I'm like, whoa, I pound like 6 pieces of Hawaiian pizza. But if like they get pizza at work and you get to it late and all there is a few slices of Hawaiian pizza left, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I don't have
I'll
a
take
problem
one.
with it.
I'll take one for
Better
variance.
that than the sausage and onion one.
So that's number 4, pizza, pineapple pizza. Okay, here's number 3. Well, the wig will give it away. What do you think?
The Wendy's Frosty and French fries.
There we go. French fries and ice cream in the milkshake.
I was even doing that with McDonald's milkshake. Like,
I've never done that.
yeah, you just take the salty fries and you dip them into the chocolate shake. Once again, it's the sweet with
See,
the salty.
I just ate the fries and then might wash it down with the milkshake, but
Well,
I never really
and that's-
dunked it.
And that's the thing, and that's the flavor that you get. But yeah, you definitely with the Frosty, because the Frosty's so thick you can't drink it with a straw.
It does. It's, yeah, you,
So it's like you either eat it with a stupid spoon,
yeah.
or their French fries are a little bit more rigid. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Yeah.
the McDonald's ones are sort of floppy and soggy. That's the whole thing. Is Wendy's would have the crispier fries that you could,
This
you
is
could do
true.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fairly
All right,
tasty.
that's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one. The mash. Okay, number 2. Where's my number 2? Oh, here's it. I've done this. I was early to the game on this one. I've done it since high school. Hot sauce in a little dish, popcorn and hot sauce. You ever put popcorn on your hot sauce?
No.
Or hot sauce in your popcorn?
No.
No, I always did it. Yeah, we take like a little pinch bowl, put a little hot sauce, and just kind of take your popcorn. Yeah,
No.
I never did that, huh?
No,
Hot sauce.
but I remember down at Sherlock's, they had a hot air popcorn popper, one of those
Sure.
carts. And they would come over and every load or whatever, like one of the bartenders would put a little teaspoon of cayenne pepper or whatever in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you eat the popcorn, then you get a hot one, and gotta get a beer.
Yep, get the zingo in there. Yeah, that's good. I know it works. I like
does.
it.
It does.
And the number 1, I got to say, the food that shouldn't work but do work, and everyone's been doing this since the beginning of time. I got to say, once again, pizza, ranch dressing and pizza.
Not
Well,
for
you
me.
you don't like ranch. You're the only guy I've ever met that doesn't like ranch.
No, I
Yeah,
don't like.
you don't like the ranch.
I don't
That's
really like
number
any
1.
salad dressing.
Huh?
I don't really like any salad dressing.
Well, this
Except
is
maybe a honey mustard.
Here's the difference. Bar ranch is different from salad dressing ranch.
Yeah.
2 different worlds.
Well, it's the same thing with honey mustard. There's salad dressing, honey mustard, because it's all sort of vinegary in the salad dressing, which I don't
Yeah,
like.
and watery. It
Yeah.
pours and drizzles. Whereas when it's a dunking sauce, it's got some thickness
yeah,
to
that
it. It's
bar,
a paste.
that
I want
bar
a
honey
paste.
mustard, yeah.
Yeah, and bar ranch is like that. It's chunky and yeah, it's good.
Gross.
Well, yeah. So okay, now before we get in, I got some things I want to try.
Okay.
These are ones that made the list. Well, they're kind of honorable mentions, but they won't go to the ones that don't work. Because I want to try. Have you ever heard of, let's see, putting jalapenos, which is kind of like, remember my episode, in the peanut butter?
No, but
Or sriracha in the peanut butter.
no, you could, but I'm not sure why you would.
You'd be making hot peanut butter. I did it with,
Oh.
I had flaming hot,
That's right.
I had the flaming hot nuts.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah, in the peanut butter episode, and I crushed up some flaming hot nuts that I had, and I took the medicine bowl, crushed them up, and I
Mortar
put
and
it.
pestle.
Yep, and I put them, and it was hot, and I put it in the peanut butter and made a crunchy peanut butter, which was zingo, zingo, zango, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, all right, here's another one they say to try: ham and cheese sandwich.
Right?
Standard ham and cheese sandwich, cut in a triangle. Smear some grape jelly on top.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I have found that,
Ham and cheese and grape jelly.
yeah, there's like things like peanut butter and jelly, which go good together.
Yeah.
I find do not mix well with meats.
What doesn't?
with like peanut butter and meat don't mix. Jelly
Well,
and
that's
meat
what they're
don't
saying.
mix.
These are the ones we got to try because that's what they're saying.
A little dubious on that one.
Yeah, the next two, well, okay, so there's a ham and cheese sandwich, picture a triangle smeared with grape jelly. Okay, here's another one. They've been doing this in the old days. They used to do this. They're putting peanuts in your Coca-Cola.
Why?
Well, you drink your Coca-Cola, and at the end, I guess apparently you have like Coke-soaked peanuts. I don't know. I've never tried that. I don't like cola anymore, so it's not really a thing for me.
Seems weird.
Here's another one: peanut butter on a burger. On a hot, good Angus burger, all melted, smear it with peanut butter as a topping.
You can do it, but it's not that great. I feel like that's just chefs.
I think it's show. I think it's a show-offy thing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like when they crack it, when they put a fried egg on a hamburger, you go, ooh, but then you go, this isn't helping the egg and it's not helping the burger.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not taken away, but it's not helping. So those are some tryouts. All right.
Hang on. I want to throw out a couple honorable mentions. And I guarantee you, I don't know. One of them maybe you might have on the bad list.
Okay.
Did you ever try chocolate and bacon? Or chocolate covered bacon?
Well,
Is that on there?
that was on my bottom okay. Yeah, I think anything with the bacon, unpopular decision here. I'm saying it. I don't like bacon.
You don't like bacon, yeah.
I like bacon on its own, but I think when you mix bacon overpowers. You got to use bacon sparingly, because bacon will turn your sandwich into a bacon sandwich.
Which is just sometimes just way too salty.
Way too much. Way too much.
Yeah. Yeah,
But you're saying a chocolate covered bacon?
yeah.
Do they have it?
Yeah. It was a restaurant we were at once, and they're like, try one of our desserts. And it was like chocolate covered bacon. We were like, no, take this away.
Really? It didn't work.
No, because they were trying to push the dessert on us, and we didn't really feel like dessert. And they're like, oh, give it a try. We're like, all right, we'll give it a try. And they brought it out, and we're like, yeah, the chocolate and the bacon. We were like, oh, that's not a good mix. That's
No, what do you do? Yeah, I remember there was a donut place that tried like bacon donuts or something like
Right.
that. Yeah, and it was like a powdered donut with bacon in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh.
Yeah. I will tell you, here's one mix that fucking works all the time really well. Mac and cheese and cornbread. That's pretty tasty.
Yeah, well, they're right in the same world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty tasty.
Here's one I made on my own because my daughter liked the mac and cheese. I'm not a fan of the Kraft mac and cheese. I used to just put hot sauce right in there or hot salsa. I used to take the hot salsa thing and scoop it in there and get all the tomato chunks in there and get some hot zing going.
Speaking of that, we went out
That's
to eat.
pretty good.
We went out to eat the other day, me and the girlfriend. We went over to Charleston, and I got some chicken tenders and fries. And it was actually the chicken tender meal, and you get two sides. So I go, oh, give me some mac and cheese. I don't make mac and cheese. I hardly ever eat mac and cheese.
Yeah.
But it was, real mac and cheese with real cheese.
Okay.
Little bits of jalapeno in it.
Ooh.
It was fucking tasty,
Little
man.
zing zing.
I've been sort of craving it
A little
ever
bit of
since.
zing zing.
Yeah.
I know. I've been liking when you got fresh jalapeno, not the processed bullshit. A little piece that you could tell somebody cut with a knife.
Well, the girlfriend had made
Scraped in
some cornbread the other day, and she put like half a can of those of the little jalapenos.
Oh, yeah.
The El Pato or whatever.
Yeah, put some zings in there. That's
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the bottom 5 food mashes that they say work, and they're telling you. Oh, yeah, I say no. There's no way this works, because they'll tell you. And every list you go to for food mashups that I was on, they're like, try this. It's gonna work. You're gonna really like this one. No way. Fuck off. All right. Here's number 5. They're saying dunking your Oreo cookies in orange juice.
No.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of at. I'm like, fuck off. There's no way you work. No. There's no way that works.
No.
Stinks.
No.
Stinks.
I don't think
All right, number 4. Here's one. They say put a can of tuna fish sprinkled on your pizza.
It's not my cup of tea, but I mean,
I could see if you don't have the balls to do anchovies, but you want the. See, here's where I just recently ate some tuna fish and I enjoyed it, but I was like, this smells like cat food to me. I don't like it. But then I went out, and what I did, I bought the canned chicken, which is kind of like canned tuna fish, and I started diluting it until, I was like, I'm going to add this to the tuna fish, and then it decat fooded it. And then I was like, I'm eating around, then I'm like, I got another couple cans of this canned chicken. I'm just going to do it to canned chicken. Fuck tuna fish. Tuna fish tastes like cat food.
It does.
You know?
It does. Yeah, on the pizza.
But on the pizza, you're ruining it. You're ruining a good pizza. Why?
So wait, what were you doing with the chicken and the tuna? What were you putting it on?
I was putting a little Miracle Whip in there, and then I was putting a little sriracha in there, sriracha powder,
Yeah.
just to give it a little heat, and just putting it on toast
Oh, I see.
and cutting it into triangles. So I was basically making a tuna fish sandwich, but my tuna had a little bit of sriracha heat powder in there, and
And then you were doing it with chicken?
yeah, I swapped it out to chicken,
Yeah.
and I still had the mayo. And still like I was doing tuna, but it's not
Almost
tuna.
like chicken salad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's in like a tuna can, but it's canned chicken.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But then aren't you making chicken salad? Isn't that chicken salad, chicken, mayonnaise, some sort of flavor?
Yeah, but didn't chicken salad have little elbows in there?
I don't know.
I think it was that what I'm talking, but then they had elbow macaroni in there.
I don't really eat any of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't. I never ate that. Mom used to make it, and I always avoided it.
Yeah.
But now I eat it. Okay, number 3. Oh no, let's see. Okay, number 3. Here's one. Putting ketchup on your eggs. Ketchup and eggs.
I sort of ended up having to get used to that. Back in the day, I used to fucking get breakfast from Jack in the Box all the time. And there was this Jack in the Box close to my house in Phoenix
Jack in the Box.
that I would hit. And I used to get the breakfast Jacks. It used to be 99 cents. And it's a piece of ham, a fried egg, a piece of cheese on a hamburger bun.
Sure.
These fuckers did not know how to cook eggs. The eggs were so burnt.
Oh well,
They were
then
like
if you're
brown,
covering something
crispy.
up, go
Yeah,
ketchup.
it's covering it up.
Ketchup's a good. Yeah, that's a good saver.
It's not great on the eggs, but
No.
yeah.
If I had to, I would, before I went to ketchup, I would almost go like salsa. I would almost take like some chunky salsa out of a jar and throw that on the eggs way before I would go ketchup. You got to be pretty broke to do ketchup.
In England, for a British breakfast, they have Heinz baked beans, which are, very like, it's a very mild sort of flavor, and then they'll do that with like some sausage.
I could see us do it in
ham
our
and
broke
eggs.
days, in our broke apartment days. I could have definitely. It's like ketchup on spaghetti. It's like.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, number 2, peanut butter or bacon dipped in peanut butter.
I feel like that's like the bacon and chocolate thing.
That's kind of where I'm at. Bacon. I don't know. Gotta go away. And then number 1, I had the bacon and the donut. The donut and the bacon.
Yeah.
The bacon flavored donut. I don't like it. I don't like your idea.
I feel like I've seen those where it'll be like, you ever see them where it's sort of like the cakey donut that they put the chocolate on?
Yeah.
It's that, but it'll be a maple frosting, like a white frosting that's like maple, like syrup, like maple.
Okay, I can see that.
And then they put some bacon crumble on that.
Oh, bacon
it's
crumble.
Or it's like in the dough or something like that.
Yeah.
A little bits of
Okay, the
bacon.
crumble maybe, but
With the maple.
I was
maybe that's
picturing
okay.
strips of bacon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ugh. Well, we got to go. We're running late. We're long in the tooth. But man, did they get a chunky episode today?
Yeah, that's like an extra long episode. So like it, subscribe, share it with your friends. Glad you watched it all the way through. You guys are the cool kids. Those people that bugged out, they kind of suck. All right, so nice work, peeps. We'll see you next time.
It's the Doocast.